You're more aware.
I'm actually more bold now than I've ever been, really. But I am more, I guess, more aware or something. Because here's another thing I used to think. I mean, I'm taking off, and I'm thinking, okay, I know this plane, it's a new one, I keep things in perfect condition. But I just thought, if the engine truly went out, truly, and I'm up, you know, going toward Cherry Creek, taking off to the north, what would I do? You know what I'm saying? And I thought, here I got this grip, and I'm teaching on flight. I mean, obviously there aren't a lot of general aviation accidents. There aren't. Right. But you think about that, right? And I think, geez, I never even thought about that when I was younger. I would take this thing all over the country. So in my helicopter, though, there's no problem. You know, I feel so confident because if the engine goes out, I can land it anywhere, right? But in an airplane, you're screwed. I mean, if you don't have a straightaway somewhere. But, I mean, these are things that I never thought about before, ever. It's just crazy.
When a smaller plane glide at all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not as dire as I'm saying. And actually, those engines, they don't really give out. I mean, to be honest with you, very seldom do planes have engine outs. Do you know that I'll bet you less than 0.1% of all accidents are due to engine outs. Most of them are weather or collisions or some kind of pilot error, stalling, stupid little things.
The latest figure I had, it was stated, but last figure I heard was like 89% of all aviation accidents are because of pilots.
Because of pilots making bad decisions.
Yeah, now, okay, engines in general, if you think about it, your car engine never quits, right? I'm talking about if you're on a highway going 55, not going around town. But in an airplane, that's what you're really doing. You're always in cruise. You don't jockey the
Martino, the troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being right.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I'm a consumer advocate. What is that? Well, it's someone who fights for consumers' rights. That's what I do. And I'm a consumer. I mean, I started by fighting for my rights. It actually started when I sold a car years ago. I was working for a newspaper, sold a car. I was not 18 yet. I was a youth reporter at a newspaper. Not a reporter, in the mailroom. And I was working part-time as a youth reporter. And then she didn't pay for the car. It was a little Honda. Do you remember Hondas came out? They were 2 cylinders. I swear to God, they were 2 cylinders. I sell this car, and she was supposed to make me monthly payments, and she stopped. So I took her to small claims court, and she was 17 too. I might have been 18 at the time. It doesn't matter. But here's the point. Her mom says, you can't hold us to a contract. She was only 17 when she signed it. But I found a law that said, in New York, if you sign a contract in your 17th year, specifically, I think it was 16th and 17th year, because so many merchants were getting screwed by young people who signed contracts, that if you sign a contract in your 16th or 17th year, and when you turn 18, if you don't rescind it within the first 5 days, then it's deemed that you have confirmed it. Can you believe that? I found that little law. Anyway, to make a long story short, I got a judgment against her. And then after that, so I wrote about it, and I started writing about stuff, and the newspaper got inundated with mail, and I started the first question and answer column in the country. Yep, as far as consumer stuff. And so then it led to radio and TV. So here I am. I just tell you that because I want to help you. But you got to get the word out. We talk so much about consumer problems that happen over and over and over and over, no matter how much I warn people. So I'm asking to please spread the word when you hear about a problem or you hear about a complaint. Because of you and your generosity, this show might quite possibly get someone a liver. We're working on that. You people have so generously volunteered to donate a liver. Think about this. If you give a liver, a half a liver, it will grow back, do you know, in 90 days? I never knew that. That's an amazing thing. So anyway, I'm going to go to the phones. Here are the rules. You have a problem, you give me a call. You have a question, you give me a call. You have any concerns, you give me a call. We have experts at referralist.com. They advertise with us, but they also have agreed to take care of people. And we have those experts get on the show or go to you and help you. That's how it works. You'll never find another list doing that. It's the original, 25 or 30 years old now. Referralist.com. So as part of our service to you, we also have some members in the studio to talk about health insurance today from Integra Insurance. Now, Integra is an agency I use to buy my health insurance. You want to talk about brain damage, try to go on the exchange or try to compare plans. Try to figure out what's best for you. It is so difficult. So we're going to talk about health insurance today. Now, not just health insurance. I never have a single topic show. But if you have questions, and I certainly do, we're going to ask the experts at Integra Insurance. One thing I do know, you save no money going directly. But there's another thing that I find puzzling, and I'm serious now, I'm not kidding around. How do you make money? Percent. I mean, why would anyone go and try to do this themselves? I have gone to them every year, and they would say, Tom, we've shopped this plan, this plan, this plan, this plan. Here, this one is good for this one is good for that, this one is bad for this. Here's what I would do. Do you know how much relief that takes off you? Open enrollment is coming up. So Integra Insurance is here. Plus, I'll take your calls. So, John Jones, Jr., Johnny. So let's talk, Johnny.
Good morning, Tom.
Integra Insurance. I want to ask you, open enrollment starts when?
November 1.
November 1 till when?
It goes this year, it is until January 12th.
Why is there only an enrollment period? What is the purpose of that? Why only one enrollment period?
Well, you're trying to bring as many people into the market for as long or extended period of time as possible, so they're paying into these their insurance policies.
But why is there only one time during the year for everyone to renew? Is that because of the government?
Yeah, it's part of the Affordable Care
Act. I mean,
Act.
because before we used to enroll any time.
Yes, sir.
But now, if you don't make it through open enrollment, you have to have what's called a life-changing event. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So changing jobs, getting married, something that would trigger a change.
Yes, sir.
So now is the time to shop. And there still are, you know, a lot of people think Obamacare is gone. It's not. You still need insurance. I know Trump's been talking about overhauling it. The Republicans have been talking about a plan. I know that the Democrats have been talking about keeping it. So it's still in full force, isn't it?
That's correct.
You have to have coverage that is approved under Obamacare. It has to have certain Affordable Care Act, which we call Obamacare often. It has to have a certain number of elements.
The 10 essential benefits, yes, sir.
Now, if you do not have an Affordable Care Act, if you don't have one, that what happens?
Well, if you don't have one, well, one, you don't have coverage, but two, you could be penalized. I mean, there are exemptions out there, and there's affordability exemptions. There are other things that and other exemptions.
Are there people allowed not to have insurance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like who? Who's allowed not to have insurance?
You look in areas of our state, particularly, and it's...
Give me an idea. Who's
allowed? It's a rock and a hard place for somebody.
No,
but
I'm not asking who can afford it. Who will not get penalized?
Well, people who can't afford it. So it's...
Wait a minute. But then they get Medicaid.
Not necessarily. No, it works both ways. So if the premiums are greater than 8.135% or whatever than your income, if the premiums are greater than that, then you would qualify for an affordability exemption, meaning that that plan under Affordable Care Act law is unaffordable to you. And so you look in areas like the mountains, Grand County.
You can get an exemption.
There are exemptions, yes,
okay, well, if you get an exemption, why wouldn't you get Medicaid then if you can't afford it?
No, that means because Medicaid also has income thresholds, and so if you don't fall below that Medicaid
threshold, so you could literally be in an area where you can't afford affordable care and you can't get Medicaid.
Yes, sir. We have clients like that. Yes, sir.
And so they have no coverage.
Correct. It's a rock and a hard place.
Or maybe they have catastrophic coverage that is not approved.
Correct, and they won't be penalized because the ACA products are not affordable to them.
Affordable Care Act. If you have any questions at all, give us a call, 303-713-TALK. And, of course, we'll talk about anything. We have all kinds of help available to you. So let's go. Dan, welcome to the show, Dan. You called yesterday and you touched my heart. The more I read about this, I could not believe it. You are a stepdad to a little girl you've had in your life since she was 3 years old.
Correct. Good morning.
Good morning. And you are married to mom, the biological mom. You love this girl like your own. You want to adopt her. However, there's a snag. The father is fighting it. Now, people may say, well, Tom, what's wrong with the father fighting it? I don't want to give up my kid. But here's the wrinkle in this case. The father is a convicted sex offender, child pornographer. He was found with 40,000 images and videos of toddlers and infants engaging in sex acts and distribution of pornography, and 10 years ago was convicted of sex with a minor. The guy is a pervert. He's put away for 27 years, and he is fighting the adoption. He wants to get not only keep custody, he wants visitation. And what's the rub? He may get a court-appointed attorney because he's in jail to fight Dan, the stepfather, who I'm talking to right now. Now, you can't make this stuff up.
Seriously.
Dan, I'm serious. So, you know, I took your call yesterday, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, have a good day. You know, it's like, what can I do? And then I thought, you know what, no. We can't just let this go. You need to go into court and get this done. And we're reaching out to our attorneys to get you an attorney at a discount, but we still have expenses. So for you, there are legal expenses. I am putting the word out about this GoFundMe site I started. And it's exclusively for you. 100% of the money will go to legal fees. People, you have my word on it. Not one dime will go elsewhere. I think there's a fee GoFundMe takes. I don't even know about that. But we will even make up the fee. We will make sure that all of your money goes to help this guy get custody. Or not just custody, but he wants to adopt her as his own little girl. She's 7 years old. Now, people, you go to GoFundMe.com/fight4adoption, and you'll read the story. It's also on my Facebook page. Now, we are coming close to getting a liver for someone. Certainly, we can help this guy regain custody, or not regain, but get custody of this girl as his daughter. Dan, what is the latest, if anything?
Well, the latest is that I have till the 27th, which would be Thursday of this week, to set an appointment to speak with the the biological father and the judge at the same time on the phone, because he didn't serve me with papers for a paternity test, which I don't understand why he needs that.
Wait a minute. He wants a paternity test?
Yeah, now he wants a paternity test.
Wait, well, you're not claiming to be the biological dad, are you?
No, but see, again, the reason I need a lawyer is he's got time on his hands to research cases and
oh, you don't listen. You don't have to justify why you need an attorney. We're going to get you an attorney. What we have to do is make sure that you get this done, this adoption. But here's what I want to know. If you're asking to adopt her, why is he asking for a paternity test? I don't understand it.
I don't quite understand it either, Tom. I think part of it is that he has certain loopholes that he's found to work in his favor if the paternity test comes back with him being the biological father.
But you're not denying he's the biological father.
Exactly.
Okay, well, listen. We're going to help. Now, please go to Facebook to get the link to the GoFundMe. Facebook, it's referral list. It's @referral-list. We'll get you there. Facebook.com/@referral-list. You can go straight to the GoFundMe site. And I'm asking each and every one, even if you only give $5 or so, please do it. We, of course, are going to make a donation, and we're also subsidizing the attorney to get a discount. And Suzanne, have we heard back from our one attorney is still out of town, right?
That's right, Tom.
And she's still out of town?
Yes, she won't be back for a few days. And then just a little correction, Tom, it's Facebook.com/referral list, no @
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. The name is never mind. That's what you have to put in when you nickname it. But so it's /referral list, facebook.com/referral list, and you'll find my referral list Facebook page with the link to this GoFundMe site. And if you want to go directly to GoFundMe, it's GoFundMe/Fight for Adoption. Dan, we're going to stay in close touch. Every penny will go to your legal fund, of course, and I want you to keep me apprised. What you need to do, though, is if this telephone conference is scheduled already, is it for when?
No, it's not scheduled, but
Good.
I have till the 27th to schedule it.
Okay, you put it out and tell them you're finding an attorney. You tell the judge that. And so it's scheduled for Friday. This Friday?
This Thursday.
Oh, you have to do it by this Thursday, and put it out into November sometime to schedule something. Is this going to be a hearing that you have to schedule?
Yeah, it's an over-the-phone hearing.
Okay.
At first, and then after that, I believe we set the court date. So there's still no court date yet.
I understand. I'm Tom Martino. Dan, I'm going to urge people to go to the GoFundMe site or to the Facebook page. We're going to help you with this fight. When I heard it yesterday, I knew I couldn't just say, well, good luck to you. We had to do something about this.
Unbelievable.
Traffic flow easing up across town. Looks like that earlier wreck southbound I-35 approaching third. That's been cleared. Traffic flow is improving on that stretch. Same with eastbound I-70 at Havana.
I don't understand how something that even is considered.
Lights flashing red at 33rd.
That seems like such a slam dunk play. No. You have literal convictions for these things. No.
Literally.
Whatever happened to the one, too, the guy with the stent?
What's that?
The one with the stent that made you sick. Remember he was on Medicaid? Did that get resolved?
Oh, my God.
And it turned your stomach when you were listening to it?
Well, he got his surgery and all that. But are you asking?
Yeah, well, about the doctor.
Yeah,
gonna go back to
you know what? That's good. Hey, Suzanne. Oh, she's on the place. That's good one because that doctor didn't even. That doctor lied about doing surgery. I think we are investigating that. Of course, I have to see where we are with it.
And you want to build something you're passionate about. We want to talk to you. Pet Supplies Plus is looking for franchise owners in this area. It's no secret Americans spend lavishly on their
And Tom, if I may, on this health insurance, the problems out there right now, it really is like, I was talking with Mark, it's like putting people in front of a maze. They're getting ready to enter that maze. There's a lot of twists and turns because of plans that have been canceled. Obviously, we can talk about the rate increases. Johnny and Jared both know what they're going up to now, and what's happening in that regard. But we are acting as guides. You have Frank Duran, the real estate man. We really are trying to take people through, guide them through, get them on the right path, and get them all the way through.
I don't know. I mean, it's getting to a point where you guys can be choked out of business, honestly.
I'm pretty serious. I know we got to find solutions. And a lot of people, we're certified now. We're certified in and outside the exchange. There were 1,300 certified agents. Now it's down to what, about 300?
Things will get better.
I think so.
Because no matter what, they have to change your model. Does anyone really believe
the consumers forcing it now too? Because consumers are now leaving. The healthy, I'll pay the penalties. They're now leaving, and so that's leaving sicker people in the system.
This poor guy didn't answer.
Okay.
I got from a message. There's like, did you need something?
You're not alone. There's help. Call the Raleigh Health Plan. They've established a special number to address your concerns. 720-888-5555.
That was painful.
That's 720-893-5555.
Okay, I'll look at it.
I want to get that guy back on because I want to know how his surgery went, if he had his surgery. But the other thing is, we need to look into whether that guy billed Medicaid or not. I forgot. John brought that up, and I got to remember.
John, can you help us with that?
I don't remember.
That one, our contact person, we lost her from Medicaid. We're trying to come up with
Here's the deal. No matter what, I can get Daff at least starting to make calls. But I got to remember, do we have his information somewhere? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Higher office doesn't answer it. I mean, yeah, there's multiple people who are supposed to answer that phone.
It just rings. I don't know what they did with everybody. They were great at some tour of help. But there are options out there. There really are to be able to help people this year. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think we're going to be able to bring people. And I heard the best analysis I've ever heard last night at a meeting. The Affordable Care Act did its job with people that are low income, be able to get them insurance and get affordable deductibles, or people that have major pre-existing conditions. It's the people there in the middle.
Middle America.
Middle America.
It's crushing.
Waiting. All right, 303 said waiting. All right, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Melanie, what's going on with you, Melanie? Hi, Melanie, what's going on? Snowbound building services, okay? Yeah. Happens all the time. And just please tell me, did you put money down? Okay. I just want everyone listening, and the reason I say this is because, and it's not against you, but it's for everyone that listens to this show. How many times do we hear the same story? They can't get their money back. Little or no work was done, or they took off. But that may not be the case with you. I'm just saying that's what happens. So you paid $6,374. What was the justification? Why did this person, why did Snowbound Building Services want money up front? Before they started doing work. How do you get draw one without any work? Okay. Okay. So yeah, but money, okay. How much up front? Like, did they start the work? Did you give them the $6,300 or was it before? Is that when they started? All right. Why didn't it start? Why?
I had second thoughts. I felt like I was being taken advantage. They initially quoted 9,000 to 12,000, which was high for what they were doing, but I was okay with it.
But so when did you change your mind?
I changed my mind by, within the next couple of days.
You understand, Melanie, now, as much as I'd like to say, and by the way, it still holds true, had you not given the money down, you would have been able to at least walk with minimal damage. But I will say this on the other hand, you're not allowed to simply change your mind. I know that sounds crazy, but you're not. You can't just cancel. Now, you might make the argument, wait a minute. They didn't do any work, they're not out any money, and you might be right. In some cases, what I say to people, if there is no loss, there's no foul. Maybe you keep a little for the time you've invested and maybe some plans or whatever, but give the majority of the money back. I don't mind people holding money for something they've done. So, did they claim they did any work or they deserve some of this money or all of it?
Well, I offered to give them some money for whatever design stuff they did.
Good.
Now, the design, the floor plans were drawn incorrectly.
But they did draw some plans?
They did draw some plans.
How many meetings did you have with them? 3 meetings, and they drew plans, and you make the argument that they were drawn wrong, but that doesn't matter because they drew plans and they would adjust those without charging you. So the plans, once they've drawn them, I don't think they would have to be redrawn from the ground up. They did put some work into it, right?
They did put some work into it. I'm not arguing that
Okay,
point.
so what do you think they should keep?
Well, what I felt was the amount of work that they put into it.
How much?
Was about like 4 hours. So I figured, okay, I could give them $400. I offered to negotiate with them.
What did they say?
They absolutely would not negotiate because they felt that I canceled the contract.
You did.
And the contract wasn't followed, that the design fee was non-negotiable. But
okay, how much is the design fee?
$1,724.
And they had 3 meetings. Are they willing to give you everything but $1,724 back?
No.
No?
They're not willing to give me anything back.
Okay. Now, I want to tell you, I don't see anything on here that says you have an out one way or the other. It doesn't address it. There's no termination clause at all. Was this signed? Was this signed at your home?
It was signed in my home.
Then you had 3 days. You had 3 days in your home.
Right, but when I signed the contract and I started to really think about
but Melanie, Melanie, I understand there are extenuating circumstances, but please. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter that you had second thoughts. It doesn't matter. I mean, seriously, it doesn't matter on the strict sense of this. But I also have something else that I believe may help you. But I'm not going to do it for you. You have to do it because it's the kind of thing that is a technicality I think you can get them on. Okay? I really think you can get them on it. And you have to use it exactly the way I tell you. And I'm not going to give you legal advice. I'm going to tell you what I would have done. So you hang on, all right? I will tell you coming up, all right? I will. I want you to get some paper and write down the steps because you have to know why you can get out of it. And I will give you the strategy. Okay, now, speaking of contractors, Kenneth, you are calling about what? A contractor, right? Kenneth?
Yes.
You're calling about a contractor.
I was sitting here daydreaming when
you
got
so you paid $1,700 up front?
$1,785 to this. I don't know if I should use his name on the phone or not.
Well, I don't care. What's his name?
Manuel P. Oris. It's under.
How'd you find him?
It was through a friend, and he came by and gave us a bid on our windows. It's Oris Home Improvements is who it's
How do you spell that name?
O-R-O-S.
Okay, hold on. I'll come back to you. I'm going to give Melanie a way to get out of her contract. She's going to have to work fast. Kenneth, we'll talk about your problem. And people, I will tell you this. We have a 99.9% track record with money up front. There was one and not being delivered. We have a perfect, near perfect record. Now somebody did spoil our record. It was the solar place that took money up front, and he went out of business just for a couple at the last. But we were able to find some solar contractors that were willing to finish the contracts. But I want to tell you something. You need to check the referral list. This is not a joke. We got to stop this. Every single day we hear about these thieves. Every single day. Guys, over and over and over. How many people get screwed? Do we hear this? Dan, how many times we hear this? You listen.
Every day.
Oh my God. And can you believe some people don't even get a last name and they get thousands of dollars?
I mean, we had one woman gave $17,000.
That was the landscaper.
How the hell can anyone do that?
I have a question real quick. So we bought a foreclosure, did a ton of work to our house. Bought 2 giant slabs of granite. Most of it was used for our kitchen, but there was some left over, and the guy that we bought it from said, no, I'll hold on to it. I'll hold on to it whenever you guys want, because we're going to finish bathrooms with it. And he said, just come back. And so we called it over the summer, and he actually came out, measured everything. Okay, great, but we hadn't decided like which granite was going to go where. Finally, a couple months ago, again, called. No one's answering. Technically, and I went to where I thought they were. Yeah, we bought it. He kept so it was the remnants. But I can't find them. He kept the remnants, and the remnants were what we were going to use to do the bathrooms.
Okay.
And I can't track him down. Cannot get a hold of him. Messages.
How much time do I have? I just want
I don't even know if he's around anymore.
You have his name and all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it called?
Raina Grant. It's a little.
You know my dad.
I don't even know if he's around anymore.
My dad lost 20,000, 25.
On the shed. On the shed. On his barn, yeah.
On your barn? He put up the post and then he just disappeared. But there's a. Yeah. And there's legal action. He's done this to about 5 people. And so you really can't do anything. But the district attorney up north said, all right, this happened too many times. We're going to charge you. I haven't heard of anything that's happened.
I'm sure he is. That's a lot of dollars. 20 or 25.
We don't have any healthcare questions in the queue.
What was the name of the company?
Where? I'm not sure.
On the, like it's on the computer. What's
Exactly.
people telling me about?
Single guy.
That's fine.
You have one hour. I want to get your message. Right now, those pole barn places are super busy.
Right.
Actually, everybody around this town is really busy.
My entire family friend in Seattle had to stay with us for 3 months.
You helped build it.
I helped build it.
Yeah. It looks great. Yeah, it looks awesome.
I thought you put up all the posts.
Yeah, right.
You were out there.
I was the guy who screamed at. What are you doing?
That's a nice one.
Screwing around with the hammer. I'm like, I'm not even really getting paid yet.
You paid however much thousand up front. What were you doing? I'm here because of you.
So the original contractor didn't finish it?
No,
not close.
Screwed him over.
He just disappeared?
Totally screwed him over.
We actually tracked him down.
I mean, this is like every day.
Yeah, there you go.
I got to win out.
I know. Because ours is the top 2 teams from each division go, and then the next 2 teams with the highest points are in. So I could lose out, but I've scored, my points are like, I'm averaging like 150 points a freaking game. That's the way we do it, because
I've been doing this
you can be unlucky. Like, you just play the guy every week who just scores the most in the league, like that's not right? And so you get screwed.
They remember both her kidneys, and they put in her grandson's kidney in the book. It's amazing what they can do with that. She's with the Anthem. More defined networks now. Once again, we kind of guided her there. We're trying to make sure that she can get to her centers of excellence and everything. Yeah, I'm sure that thing's pretty well every day. She's been on the list now for about a year and a half. Until she found, her grandson was that perfect match.
She's on dialysis?
Yeah. That's what we're kidding about. I talked with her yesterday. Wish her best of luck. So her spirits are great. It's amazing how quick they'll have her up and walking again. She's all to be out.
Oh, it's amazing. Isn't this amazing? Gosh. I'm telling you, man, I don't know how people can afford.
That's right. Just type alliance.lease. Alliance Leasing.
We've gone out and looked at other options.
Okay, so
yeah.
This guy. Did he have a shop? Did he have a place of business?
Yeah, good.
Obviously, go there.
I drove by there and it looked like it wasn't there. So I may just be.
What's the name of it?
Raina Granite.
Raina?
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 877-713-TALK. I'm going to talk to Melanie, then I'll talk to Kenneth. Melanie gave $6,374 in a deposit to Snowbound Building Services. And Suzanne, I think we should call Snowbound Building Services. They have done nothing wrong. I want to make that clear. We're not saying they did anything wrong, but there is a tiny wee bit of a technicality, and it would be nice if they recognized it and came up with a settlement. Suzanne, this is what I'd like you to tell them. Suzanne, hello? This is what I'd like you to tell them. There's a wee bit of a problem. That's a technicality. I think she would win in small claims court. Please consider settling. And here's the wee bit of a problem, and I'll tell Melanie right now. This contract was signed other than the normal place of doing business. It wasn't in their office, okay? And when a contract is signed other than the normal place of doing business, why do they say that? Because it doesn't always mean home, because sometimes it could be at a restaurant. It could be at a library, or you meet somewhere, at a Starbucks. Okay, if you meet someone at a Starbucks or at your home, or it's not in their office, it's a weird little technicality. There is a 3-day right to rescind. Okay? Now, it's not for every contract. It's for when you do it off premises, at a remote place, or in your home. And here's the good part. Since you were not advised of the 3-day right to rescind, that 3 days begins when you are advised. That's the technicality. Now, here's the problem, and I'm serious when I tell you this. The problem is getting them to believe it at Snowbound without going to court. And when you go to court, believe it or not, you may have to instruct the judge, because they use magistrates who don't always know every little in and out. So you may want to look up the statute, and I don't have it on the tip of my tongue. But as I remember, and since I'm blessed with this memory, there is a clause, and I'm not sure if it's state or federal. I think it's federal. It's door-to-door or a place other than the normal place of doing business or something like that. You get a 3-day right to rescind. If you're not notified, that 3 days starts when you are notified. Now, I'd like to advise or get Greg to do it, you know, since Greg's here today, and Deputy Greg or Deputy Yan, get them to just say, look, you know, we just want to let you know you did nothing wrong, but she wants out, and we did notice you didn't have a right to rescind in there, and since the contract was signed in her home, we're wondering, would you consider settling with her? Again, I don't think they did anything wrong, and Melanie changed her mind. Now, Melanie, I know you say you have reasons. By the way, what were they going to do for this price? Because I see a whole price here of 30,000.
Yeah.
Wait, it was 30, and then they went down to 22.
It was supposed to be 9 to 12.
I don't care. I'm asking. It was 30, and they went down to 22. Is that right?
No, it was 22,640, and they went down to 15,500.
Okay. Why did they go down to 15,500?
Because I sat there, line item by line item.
Okay, 15,500, and they were going to do what for 15,500?
Put in a curbless shower, a roll-in shower, so my mother could be. And
that's
then they were
all?
going to put in a new toilet. They were going to put in a new floor. They were going to take out the existing sinks and put in.
Were they going to widen doorways?
They were going to widen one doorway.
Were they going to do a ramp?
The bathroom. No ramp.
The scope of work: remodel of existing hall bath to accommodate ADA shower requirements, project schedule and budget, full breakdown and remodel. You know, here's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound like a crazy price to me for some of what you're saying. This may not be a bad deal. I don't know. Or did you decide just not to have it done?
It is a bad deal. I decided.
I mean, I don't know if it is or not.
I felt like they were taking advantage of
it. Okay. I don't understand. This is good for people who own a business. Just without a long story, what gave you the first impression they were taking advantage of you?
The 22, when they came back at 22.
Just the price. Okay, see, price. And again, it doesn't sound like a bad price, but we're going to call them for you. People, I'd like you to weigh in on this too, okay? Do you think she's a crybaby? Do you think she's got a good case? I mean, why do you sign something? First of all, they went from 22 to 15.5. Now, some of you will say, well, that goes to show you. They just wiped out $7,000 like that. You know, there must be a problem. What do you guys think? Let me know. Now, speaking of which, Genesis Total Exteriors. I give out his name all the time. You might have to wait for him because he's busy. He does interior and exteriors. See, we got the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm not saying this other place was bad, but I'm saying that even with a great company, and this could be a great company, you have to have some integrity to your contracts. And people, you're not just allowed to change your mind. Now, speaking of Genesis Total Exteriors, they do exteriors and interiors, and I tell you, one thing I know, he'll never take a dime and not show up, ever. 303-679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. All right, let's keep going here and talk to Kenneth about his windows. Now, $1,700. The guy never came back?
No, the whole story, do you want me to go through with you? The whole story is...
just really briefly.
Okay, really briefly, he came by the house.
Yeah.
By a friend who I was used to play with, and he's Oris Construction Company. He gave us a bid of $1,785 for the windows.
Yeah.
He said he had to have the money up front, so we paid him the money.
Now, why did he say he needed the money up front?
To pay for the windows.
Okay, well, I would have said I don't want to do business with somebody who can't get credit for windows. That's what I would have said. Now, that doesn't mean, hold on, that doesn't mean you shouldn't put money down. If there are custom windows and people want money down, and let's say it's a big giant company like Champion, I think you can trust him. If you got a guy named Horace you never seen before, and he wants the money to pay for the windows, I mean, you got to make a judgment call. If you did it by credit card, you would have protected yourself. So, did you do it by credit card?
No.
Okay.
He did it by check.
And when did he cash it? The same day?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
check the same
I'm going to tell you something, Kenneth, and I mean this in a friendly way, and then I'll try to help you. I really will. But you kind of deserve it, meaning that you trusted this guy.
Exactly.
And you had no reason to trust him whatsoever. So, what do we do? Where is this guy? Let's find him. That doesn't mean he can rip you off, but you know he probably spent the money.
Oh, that's exactly what he did.
Oh, God. Okay. He never came back. You're telling me he just flat out never called and never came back?
We tried to phone him back. One time he answered the phone and he said, well, since he had the windows, I said, well, bring the windows by, we'll settle up then. He said, no, he was going to take them back and get money back from corporate, whatever that meant.
Well, what did that have to do with anything? Why didn't he just put the window in?
He never did get the windows. I don't believe.
Do you know, he's in direct violation of the Contractors Trust Act, and I don't know why people get away with this. I'll tell you why. I know what he pushes it. What jurisdiction are you in? What county?
In El Paso County, Colorado Springs.
Oh, that'll tell you one thing right there. So, I want you to do me a favor, and we'll try to find this guy. Give us a phone number for him.
Okay.
Does he answer the phone?
Yes. His phone number is 719.
Hold on a second. Suzanne, since he does answer his phone, before we give out his number to the public, let's see if we can reason with the guy to get the money back, or tell him we're going to try to pursue something against him. Here's the truth of the matter. The guy spent the money. You're out $1,700. He'll never be punished. Welcome to America. Now, I will try like crazy to find this guy and to at least warn others. Oris Construction, right?
Yes.
Manuel?
Oris Home Improvements is the way his card is.
Home
Manuel
Improvements.
Oris.
Okay.
O-R-O-S.
Okay. Improvements. Now, one other thing we can do, and I want you to do, and we'll work on our end, you work on your end.
Okay.
All right. I want you to call the El Paso District Attorney's Office.
Okay.
And I want you to say something like this, okay? I realize that you probably get these calls a lot, but I have something very specific, a flat-out violation of the Contractors Trust Act, just plain and simple, and I want it prosecuted, okay? I want to bring charges against Manuel Oris.
Mm-hmm.
He took $1,700 and never came back. never ordered the windows. Don't give a lot. There's not a long story. That's all you say. There's a clear-cut violation of the Contractors Trust Act, and I want charges brought. That is your job. Be polite. That is your job as a prosecutor. I want charges brought so this doesn't happen to others. It's clear-cut. No work was done. No attempt of work was done. Nothing. Clear-cut. And I want you to get the name. When you talk to someone, you say, may I have your name for future reference? And then you tell them exactly what I said. And I want you to call me back and let me know what they tell you, please. Suzanne will give you a callback number. We got to start doing something about this. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Andrea, why was your autistic child expelled from school?
She was expelled because Mesa County School District 51 doesn't believe that her behaviors are related to her disability.
Very well put. We're going to talk about that coming up. Please stick around for a lot more because we are going to talk about health insurance, I promise. It is a major problem, something we all have to address. And don't forget approval reverse mortgages if you're 62 or older. Remember, if you're 62 or older, you can use the equity in your home. It's not a good idea for everyone. And the only one I really trust to evaluate you and let you know is approvalreverse.com, 303-771-3528. They'll tell you the truth. It's a great retirement tool or not, depending on your situation. 303-771-3528.
It is so unbelievably difficult when people give money like this. So unbelievable.
I just don't understand what they do with it.
Oh my God, oh my God.
I'm glad everybody's that rich. Just write a check without checking references or anything.
So what are the messages you gave me? Okay, let's look at your email. What are the main things we want to go over? Because I want to make, first of all, what are the dates? We went over that, though, but we'll do that again. What are the advantages of using a broker? Well, okay, I kind of went over that, but I'll keep doing it. What are the major complaints? Okay, that's a good one. And for individuals who, okay, I'll get all this in. Where are the real brains of the operation?
The what now?
The real brains of the operation. Where is she?
Okay. She's out having fun, spending my money.
Spending her money.
That too. She'll be back up here in a little bit. She had to run over to Costco and pick up some stuff, so she'll be back here in a little bit.
I didn't mean to put it that way. So
no, you get no. That's the truth. I'm not going to argue that. We can't get along without her up there and doing everything. And can I ask you too? If we weren't able to go that Thursday night, how was the benefit for Omar?
It was really good. It was real.
Did they raise a lot of money that night?
Yes, a lot relative to their organization. It's a small organization. I think like, I don't know, 40 grand.
That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. For them, yes, because it goes a long way.
And did they ever catch the killer?
Oh yeah, he was prosecuted. They called him. He was prosecuted and put in two of them. The one that did it and then his other guy. The main guy is in prison. The other guy got out after many, many years, 20 years or something. I think it was 20 years. He got out and was killed within 3 days by the police in a shootout.
Wow. Really? What, in a robbery or something?
Something like that. I'm telling you, when you have bad dudes,
they just stay bad.
Oh, what do? There are people that I'm convinced are just evil, and I don't know why. Because I never thought evil really existed by itself, but it does. But what's funny is people never believe that they're evil. They always have a justification. I don't think anyone ever says, "Oh yeah, I'm evil." You know what I'm saying? I do those bad things. I don't think they say that. I think they, in their heads, believe that they have some kind of justification for it. Did you call or did she?
I did. They didn't answer. She's going to Facebook message him.
And in that small plane of yours, Tom, you ever been in a situation where you were going,
No.
This could be really here?
Just in my mind. No. And that little plane I'm talking about is just a hobby. That I used to have, I've kept this through the years because there's no sense getting rid of it. I rebuilt it from scratch. It's like brand new, and I could never get the money back. But that little plane, no, I've never been in a situation where, I've been in a situation where I said, what would happen if, but it's such a cute little, it's so much fun. That's all I can say. It's just fun. You would have a ball in it because you fly those boring Learjets or Citations or whatever. What's that little class called? They're light jets, are they?
Transport category.
They're not very light jets, right? The very light is the like the Cirrus jet, and those little ones in the Premier, right?
Yeah, so that would be VLJs, right?
Very light jet, and then this is. So, but what's the one like? Man, I saw one at Centennial. So when you hear this sound, 2 people got out of it. It looked like an airliner, for God's sakes. But it's a corporate jet.
Like a Global Express, maybe?
It had 2 big engines on the tail. And it was
probably Global Air.
And it looked like about 20 windows.
Our company took one person from Houston to Zurich in a plane that size the other day. That trip probably cost him $130,000. One person.
Wow.
In a plane that's literally as big as a smaller airline.
And they could have done an airline first class.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. So, what are the advantages of using a broker in the health exchange? I'll tell you for sure, one of them is that you get to compare plans. Johnny, comparing is really important. Do you have a program that does that you fill in the blanks? I don't know how you do it. You'll tell me which is good and which is bad in certain categories. So you say, is that mostly what you do, comparisons for people?
We absolutely.
I mean, isn't that one of the main functions? I know. I don't want to read through 20 policies.
I mean, we're independent, and so we're appointed with every major carrier in the state, and so we definitely, when we meet with a client, it's, what's your needs? What's your lifestyle? What's your budget?
Right.
And let's look at
what are people complaining about? Like, I know you're hearing complaints. Mark complains all the time. He complains just about price. Is that the main deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just price.
Absolutely, that's the main thing. I mean, your networks are smaller, so it's if there's individuals
they can't
or
get their
families,
doctor.
Exactly. Yes, it's more difficult if you have multiple providers, multiple facilities that you want to use or like to use to be able to have one plan that can do that.
Okay, people, if you have any calls, any questions at all on health insurance, this is the time, because enrollment starts November 1st. 303-713-TALK. So, Andrea,
yes,
your daughter is autistic. Now, was she clinically diagnosed?
Yes.
By a physician?
I have 5 separate medical diagnoses.
Okay. So let's say then she's autistic. What behavior did the school find intolerable?
So when she gets upset, when she has or gets overloaded sensory-wise,
yes,
she will have a meltdown. She will become physically and verbally aggressive. She will throw things. She will yell and scream. She will make threats.
So, okay, she did this at school?
Yes.
So why do you believe the school should put up with it?
Because under the federal law, they're required to if it's part of her disability.
Really, they are? I didn't know that. I know that you have to put up with disabilities. When I say put up with them, accommodate them. But why would they have to put up with threats or violence? See, that part I don't get. And I'm not challenging you. I'm asking you because I don't understand. In what way are they supposed to accept it? Let her do it or do what?
Well, they're not. I'm not saying it's acceptable. Trust me, when these behaviors occur, there are consequences. But it is part of her disability, so
what should be done?
Something beyond her control.
So what should be done?
She needs to be taught when to recognize that she's getting upset and how to self-regulate to calm herself down.
Well, who teaches her that? The school?
It's supposed to be a joint effort between the school and at home.
Okay.
I've done everything at home. She gets 40 hours a week.
So are you saying that the school should not have expelled her for the behavior? They should have done what?
I'm saying legally the school can't expel her because the behavior is a part of her disability, and I need somebody who can help me fight that.
Okay. and you need to fight that. Have you heard of the Legal Center for the Handicapped?
I have been in touch with, it's now called Disability Law Colorado.
Okay.
They have not yet decided whether or not they're willing and able to take the case.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't. It seems tailor-made for them.
Because they have finite resources, and unfortunately it's Denver.
What do you want to do? You want to sue the school system?
You know, that thought has crossed my mind.
Well, so what are you looking for by fighting it? What do you mean?
So the biggest thing is getting the manifestation determination overturned.
All right, hold on a second, and we'll come back and more.
Greenberry, That's a tough one, man. When somebody, what do you think about that?
Well, one of my good friends has an autistic child, and sometimes I can't even be over there on how hard it is to be with him.
I know.
So,
but
for a
school
teacher,
put up with it though?
Yeah, for a teacher to put up with it though, don't they have special schools? Or
can we get a spokesperson from the school district?
Are there special schools for autistic children?
What about the one right down the street from us? It's a special school.
For learning disabilities, those kids are given what is scopes or what's it called? That's my wife, because our niece, she's not autistic or anything. She just has learning disabilities. And my mother-in-law is deep, and my wife, she was a teacher, so she deeply knows the law on those things.
Well, the thing is, too, it disrupts the class. So how's that good for the other students? So why didn't they separate that and give her more attention? Because autism kids need
maybe they
attention.
can't. Maybe they don't have
they need attention.
The resources or the money or the...
President Trump's having lunch with Senate Republicans after attacking one on Twitter today, calling Bob Corker incompetent.
The tweets go back and forth.
Senator Corker said that's not
I wish they did. You would aspire to. You gotta have his vote to pass the tax reform bill. Across in the United States, but that's just not going to be the case.
You think Trump is negatively or positively impacting Twitter's bottom line?
What?
Just like I don't want anything to do with Twitter. Like, cause it's just
he loves it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but do you think he's negatively or positively impacting Twitter's bottom line by himself?
Negatively.
You think
their stock keeps going?
I don't know. That's the drive on. Is drama.
Do you tweet much, Pierre?
I don't even have a Facebook.
You what?
I don't even have a Facebook.
Oh, you don't have Facebook?
No, I know.
Faster results. What if hiring?
I don't get involved with all that. I have my
Your
own life
father's
to worry about.
smart. You got more
things to concentrate on.
So you don't spend time wondering where the right
napping.
are searching.
Yeah, I left Facebook for 2 years, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get back in a little bit, and I'm still wondering why. Like, and I do it I like throw something up every once in a while, and I get like you have friends and family that you haven't, people who are in other states, or like you don't see that you get to be able to.
That's what I want to do. It's all
kind of
friends
follow.
are in New York and all that.
Hire the right people, no matter the industry.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Smartest way to hire.
You could call a bunch of text your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Text your wife and ask her. You know, too many people do come to phone questions.
She's not going to be able to get it. She's at MOPS. It's a mother's ministry, like for kids, for moms with small kids. They go and it meets at church once every other week. And they're having their Halloween, like all the kids are dressed up today.
Did she get the outfits done?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I helped her out a little bit.
Adley's little pocket or something?
Yeah,
That's not on. They didn't answer the phone like their competitors. No, they didn't. Both those numbers on there.
I've been fighting for
I think she's
more than 30 years in all areas of business. Except when it comes to the IRS, I refer them to Larson Tax Relief. If you owe back taxes, if it's been years since you filed, these guys are the best. They're smart, they have a fantastic team of experts, and will understand your situation. Their name says it all. Larson Tax Relief. Relief from your tax debt problems. Larson will get you the absolutely best possible resolution. You won't have to worry about your wages being garnished.
naturally. Dave Boucher. And he used to, in fact, he did an ad for us. And it saved him a buck. So they are good. And Tom, doing open enrollment. You know, y'all have questions, you know, when y'all call into the group. If Johnny and I are busy, Jared will figure him on the line.
Jared,
he's as knowledgeable.
You look like somebody I know. I'm trying to think who it is. God, no, I mean just like someone. I'm trying to think.
Brad Pitt. I was thinking about his
Time changes everything. If your timeshare no longer fits your life, go to timeshareagency.com.
What if I told you that you could play any song, album, or playlist on the iHeartRadio app for free? It's not a trick. It's our Halloween treat. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's the iHeartRadio All Access Free Preview Weekend. Our library of millions of songs is yours for free all weekend. Even download songs to listen offline. Experience all the iHeartRadio app can do this Friday through Sunday. The iHeartRadio All Access Free Preview Weekend.
80% of Fortune 500 companies lease their vehicles because that's the smart financial move. Me, it's Ross Kaminsky from my friends at Alliance Leasing, who can help you save time and money and more money, and have been doing just that for Colorado businesses for more than 20 years. Alliance Leasing will get you into your fleet vehicles with all the upfit you need at the lowest delivered price. I'm a finance guy, and to me, the choice of leasing with Alliance is the obvious one for your business. Learn more at alliance.lease. That's right, just like alliance.lease. Alliance Leasing.
And if I may ask, Tom, have you gotten your letter yet from Glide when they've had to readjust the rates again?
They didn't tell me about it. They got me a letter saying things will be changing, but they didn't quote me.
They will. They will. They're all working on it. They're all trying to get it out. Because this has only happened in the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
So, how much is that going to go up?
Bright's, so Bright's going to be the minimal. It's going to be an additional 3%, so it's going to be 30% is their average now. It was 27. All the other carriers are going
Owner on for that snowbound building services. He's got a different side. He's willing to come on.
Excellent.
You sound pretty good.
Can you see, I don't know what to do with Andrea, but
I have my American Disabilities Act looking into it.
Good.
Folks, you know, talking about Rachel Stafford. They're calling me back, so if you just want to hang for a
yeah, okay, good.
That's PetSuppliesPlusFranchise.com. PetSuppliesPlusFranchise.com.
Your shot at $1,000 right now. Text the keywords bills.
So Bright's going up 30, I think. Kaiser's going up 30. What's going up 30?
Are you going to have a recommendation for me?
Very much so. We'll sit down and chat. We just got to get you to know this.
Well, Medicare's not a panacea either, right?
I love it. We could talk about that too.
Do doctors like it now?
Oh, very
they
much
used to hate it.
No, Medicare's been great.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino,
your troubleshooter, and we do have an important follow-up concerning a discussion we were having about Snowbound, the company, and I want to grab my notes on that. I also want to tell our Andrea, who is waiting for us, that we are consulting an ADA attorney. Andrea has an autistic child, had some unacceptable behavior for the school system. They expelled her. She's claiming they cannot do that legally. It's part of her disability. They need to help her, not expel her. If you want to weigh in on that, that's great. We also have Integra Insurance with us, and we're talking about the Affordable Care Act, open enrollment starting November 1st, and what to do. I just found out my premium will go up 30%. I think I've had an increase every single year since this started. We'll talk about that and what are some of the options. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Whenever anyone complains about a company, we do everything we can to get that company on. That's what we do. Snowbound Building Services wanted to talk about this. We called them. And I wanted to make clear, and I hope Suzanne did, they did nothing wrong. We wanted to make that clear. This contract is a contract. She said she changed her mind. She wants her money back. She was willing to give Solak a few $100. They said no, according to her. I said there's a teeny technicality here I wanted to bring to their attention. And I say teeny technicality because truly it is a technicality. I don't think anyone tried to rip anybody off. But the teeny technicality is, since the contract was signed, according to her, at her home or off premises, and it wasn't the normal place of doing business as defined by the law, she has a 3-day right to rescind, but there, as I can see on this contract, no 3-day right to rescind written on it, and the law says that 3-day begins when you're notified if it's not on the contract. Now, other than that, though, I said there's nothing really wrong here. That's a technicality. I've had emails from people since her call saying that they did nothing wrong. They signed a contract, she made a deposit, and that's that. So let's talk to Alex Malloy with Snowbound Building Services, and I appreciate you coming on, Alex, so you can address that situation. Go ahead.
Not a problem, not a problem. Thank you, Tom. Yes, very much, as you said, she signed a contract on Wednesday the 4th, and we received our initial deposit. At that time, we went ahead and placed all the material orders. We scheduled our crews, scheduled our electricians, our plumbers, and then she decided to cancel the contract about 12 hours before we were to start on Sunday, the 8th.
Okay, that's what she said, about 4 days. So then, bottom line, you feel you're entitled to go through with the contract or to keep the deposit?
No, not keep the deposit. What we have stated to her is all of the restocking fees that we have to pay to put back, as well as any cancellation fees for the dumpster that was going to be delivered that morning that we had to pull off, pull off the truck. So all of those fees have to be paid for by her. Those are her financial responsibility, not ours, since she decided to cancel the contract on it. That's for short notice.
You told us, she told us you were not willing to negotiate at all, because I said...
That is not the case. I have sent her an email, and we have that in writing.
Tom?
Yes, Suzanne.
And I found this curious. This is a technicality. Melanie, did not cancel the contract. Apparently, according to Alex, her friend called them and canceled for her.
Yeah, and that
is correct.
Okay, so Melanie, as I said, I don't think either of you are bad people here. I really don't. This is not a normal problem where you got a bad guy and a good guy, So he's saying he's willing to negotiate.
Well, I would be happy to negotiate, but they have not been willing to negotiate. The last email I got from Michael was that the charges will not be more than the initial first draw of the contract, and they cited returning materials, a dumpster fee, a cancellation fee.
Right, he mentioned that.
Yeah, but that's all a bunch of crap.
What do you mean?
Okay?
What do you mean a bunch of crap?
Because they didn't have any time to really do that. They're saying they were out money.
Well, hold on. If they were starting on Monday, they sure did have time. Wait. Now, hold on.
They had to do demolition.
Did they start? Hold on. Well, they need a dumpster. They started on the 4th, right? You signed on the 4th, right?
Yeah, they were going to start.
Alex?
Yeah, but they were going to start on the 9th, and they got the dumpster
Okay, hold
for
on.
a week.
Well, hold on.
They got the dumpster for a week.
Just wait a second. You signed it on the 4th. On Monday the 9th, that's only a few days. So if you make an appointment...
Sunday the 8th, I terminated.
I know you did, but I'm saying that they could have easily scheduled a dumpster for that Monday. They would have to call.
I was willing to pay for the dumpster. I got no problem.
Okay, and they said they placed order on materials, and you're saying no?
Yeah, I'm saying no. I'm saying they didn't. They produced nothing to show me that they've done anything like that.
Well, they kind of don't owe you. This is weird, too, but they don't really owe you details at all because you're the one canceling at this point. I'm curious, though, Alex, you don't have anything on the contract about termination or penalties or anything. Why is that? It's a pretty straightforward contract. Or is there another contract? Oh, there is. It says about the breakdown on the other schedule, the project. Did that have something about cancellation?
No, normally I've never had a project canceled.
So, Melanie,
I've never had to deal with that.
What do you think, Alex, these charges are going to come to?
I would imagine when Michael stated that they weren't going to be more than the initial draw, meaning that they weren't going to exceed any more money. She's not going to have to pay any more money. We were going to end up giving money back based off, and we're going to show all of our accounting for it as well. Our contract, and because we were working as a friend together with a mutual acquaintance, I gave her very, very little markup. So, it's going to be a pass-through anyway, and we're going to give her money back anyway. So, and it was stated in that email that we would do that per registered mail as well.
No, it was not. Okay. And I got no registered mail. And they're talking about things like employee pay for lost time due to scheduling.
Hold on. I want to bring up Major Mark Major, who's, by the way, on his mobile. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, I got to tell you, I'm listening to this. I don't like anything this woman's saying. She's not taking any responsibility for signing that contract. This is insane.
I have taken responsibility for signing the contract. I agree. I shouldn't have done it.
It's crazy.
Go ahead, but Mark, go ahead.
No responsibility whatsoever, Tom. No responsibility. That company had time and effort in it and everything else. And I got to tell you, when you're hearing it inside the car, she's coming off like she's nuts.
Okay, that's good to hear. No, seriously, it's good to hear from a perspective. You're driving around listening to the show like anyone would. And here's what I think. As I said, Mark, I don't think that they did anything wrong at Snowbound at all, and she's making it sound like they have to put up all this evidence and prove this and prove that. And I agree with you that they have. They are being more than nice. And she is kind of coming off as privileged. Thanks, Mark. I put you on hold there so I don't get background noise. Now, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Listen. What you're doing, in my opinion, is fine. If you truly, by the way, since you don't address the deposit, you do have to do something, because if you had addressed it as non-refundable, technically that is a contract. It would be non-refundable. But since you didn't do that, you would have, there would be an unjust enrichment if you kept money just for the hell of it. But I don't believe you are. First of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with charging for hard costs. That's all I'm saying. Melanie, I do believe, because they don't have a non-refundable clause in there, I do believe they do have to some degree, justify what they're keeping. Okay? So I do believe that. And he says he will. Melanie?
Yeah, well, but how are you out all this money in 4 days? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, okay, first of all, I understand.
Forfeited when canceled.
I understand the deposit completely.
It was a bait and switch. You won't jack the price.
What do you mean bait and switch?
Because they quoted you.
A bait and switch. They quoted you 22 and went down to 15. That's the opposite of a bait and switch. I don't understand what you mean. A bait and switch is when someone lures you with a very low price and then raises it.
So that's what they did.
No, they didn't raise it. They lowered the price.
I would like to address Mark, I think, who called in.
Yes.
I do take responsibility for signing this contract. It was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. And I shouldn't have given a check. I got really caught up in not wanting to hurt Alex's feelings regarding everything that was going on. Plus, after I did that, I had time to sort of digest the contract and what has gone on. And the stuff that they're citing as reasons that they're keeping my money is a bunch of crap.
Well, I will tell you this, okay? You'll have that opportunity when they give you an accounting. Because truly, I do agree with you on that. Since it was not addressed on what happens to the deposit, they are certainly welcomed and justified in keeping every penny they've incurred. They really do. And that includes their time for 3 meetings and whatever they did. They are entitled to keeping some of that money. You're the one that changed your mind. So I don't know why we're arguing. He says he's going to give you an accounting.
Yeah, and it says the charges will not be more than the initial first draw of the contract.
That's a good...
What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet the accounting that comes in is for the exact amount of the first draw? This is my mother's money.
Can we give him a chance?
I have given him a chance.
No, you haven't.
I've gotten email after email.
Okay.
Alex is finally talking to me and dealing with this. He is not.
Well, he says he's emailed you. So, Alex, I want you to respond to that. I put her on hold because really she is a little overpowering. She's emotional. I don't know what to say to her as far as why she felt taken advantage of or anything. I'm a little... Okay, let me just say it. She does sound like a pain in the ass, and Alex, it might be good that you're not doing the work.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, now, I'm not saying she's wrong. If somebody takes a deposit, even if they cancel, you're entitled to your hard costs, I grant you. You're not entitled, let's just say, Alex, she canceled and you hadn't purchased a dime worth of stuff. You understand. You could take out some money for your time if you had to pay maybe a commission to a salesperson, whatever. But you understand that you don't just get to keep money just for the hell of it. You know that.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely done. And I've been doing this for years.
Okay.
So it's not like and even with the way we're giving the money back, we show all the accounting invoices.
You know,
on it. So it's not.
I don't have a problem with you.
As legitimate as possible.
I don't have a problem with you. I want to see what he comes up with. Would you ask him if he'd be so kind as to share us the explanation of his deposit and what he's keeping? Okay? That's the way I feel. I want to remind you, we have a GoFundMe that we're trying to raise legal fees for Dan. Dan is trying to adopt a 7-year-old girl that was in his life since 3. He's the stepdad, married to the biological mom. But the father, the biological father, is opposing him. The biological father is in jail for sex crimes, for child pornography, for having sex with a minor years ago. That was on his record. But he's now in for child pornography, distribution, and exploitation of children. And it's terrible that he is going to be able to fight this guy using an assigned attorney because he's in jail. The poor guy is going to get help. Whereas Dan has no help, we need to help him. We're getting attorneys to do this at a severe discount. Of course, they can't work free. They have fees and stuff to pay. They're not going to make money on this case. This is going to be a break even. At best, we need to help him. And go to the GoFundMe site, please. To find it, go to our Facebook referral list and look at it. If you go to GoFundMe, the name of the page is Fight for Adoption, okay? Fight for Adoption. We have more coming up about health insurance. I want to remind you, speaking of health, the Raleigh House is a sponsor here. Insurance does cover a rehabilitation or addiction treatment. They have evidence-based treatment, and they have statistics to show that they've established programs to reduce substance abuse. But this is not to try to convince you to go in for treatment. This is for people who have addicts in their life. If you have an addict in your life and you want to know, how do I approach them? What do I say? How do I get help? The Raleigh House has this number for you to call. They will talk to you about any and all issues relating to addiction treatment, including price, insurance, length of time, the medical basis, the psychological basis, what they do there, what they do in other places. There's no obligation and no cost. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. No major problems as you hit the highways across the metro area.
Was there more pages to that contract than just that first one?
Through the heart of town.
Yeah, well, he references the actual proposal, which I don't have.
Or anything.
Free on the turnpike, no issues on I-270 out in Commerce City. And no major problems on 6th Avenue in Lakewood. Looking good all over town. For more real-time traffic updates on your route, download the Total Traffic app, powered by Traffic Karma.
I think they get emotional on air.
No, I'm telling you, that is
an overnight low of 40. Right now, cloudy and 49.
Yeah, that's hard.
Traffic and weather. I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30. K-How. This report is brought to you by Page, the program of all-inclusive.
Sounds like she's got some New York in her.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounded like like a Rusio.
Has she got New York? Is she from New York? Have you had a chance to talk with her?
She's got the
I don't think
Jewish
she ever
New York.
laughed in her life. I can't get her to laugh. I'm glad she's your class.
We all have them too.
What would you say is your worst, Jared?
He only collects when the job is done, and never a blank contract. At Excel
Lee,
they take clients and give them full contracts with everything written down, so clients know exactly what they should get. And then he negotiates with the insurance company to get you the best settlement. 303-761-6400.
I think we solved the majority of it. Yeah. Well over 95%.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
That's excelroofing.com. Also on my referral list.
Tom, since you're a flower, you're a reader too?
Yeah, I love reading. But, you know, I found myself doing more audiobooks now.
I recommend, I just listened to one. It's called Beyond the Call.
Beyond the Call.
It's a World War II pilot. It's a true story. And his son, right at the end of his life, goes in and starts asking him questions and recording him. And he opens up at that point. What ends up, the book is, he flew over Germany. And when they survive, the flights going over, they call them the lucky bastards. They get a certificate for the lucky bastard. Yeah, most of them end up getting shot down.
Yeah.
So they offer him a position. He just thought he was going to be going into Russia to help fly people, the shot up planes back. They actually signed him up to the OSS, and he didn't realize that. And he ends up going into Poland, working with the POWs and everything, and flying them out and trying to get them into safety. It's amazing.
Basically, when the Russians liberated some of these POW camps, they just left okay, you're on your own. Figure out how to they treated all these POWs like human garbage, basically. It wasn't.
Now, by the way, just so you know, this is all a hobby for me. I just do this because I love it. I just love it. That's all. Look how cute. Is it cool?
Yeah. It's got a very classic,
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah,
it's just really beautiful. It was the first. It was the first tricycle gear, the first low wing.
And that's yours. You own it, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I bought this, and from here to here, it's called the empennage.
Okay.
And I added the wings, brand new. See, there is a factory in Colorado that manufactures new parts to this day. They bought up the rights to about 6 aircraft manufacturers because they figured people are flying planes, who's going to get them parts? They got the original tools and die from all these manufacturers, including Piper, from a certain year back. And they have the rights. So when you look at stuff, that is factory new. So everything you see is all factory new. It's literally from here to here. It's a 1946 with everything new engine, new product. I mean, everything is new. Every nut and bolt. So I won at Oshkosh for it, and that's doing something. But it's just a hobby. But what I was saying about it, this is my 3rd one I've rebuilt. This is certainly the best job I've done because it's 90% new. But where I used to take it and what I used to do is unbelievable that I did that. It took me 16 hours to fly to New York.
So for line 4 with the expelled child, Connie McKenzie, she's an advocate at the ARC Pikes Peak region, and she knows all about this kind of stuff. Dealt with it before.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, GoFundMe.com/Fight4Adoption. Please read about it on my Facebook page. This is very near and dear to my heart. Right now, Andrea, with an autistic child with behavior that was unacceptable according to the school, she was expelled. How long is she expelled for, Andrea?
She's not currently expelled. They're threatening expulsion if the behaviors continue. Last time she was expelled for an entire calendar year.
What?
Yeah.
What did she do for that year?
They still had to provide services because she's a student on an IEP with a disability.
An independent education plan. So even if she gets expelled, they will still teach her.
2 hours a week.
Okay, so your whole thing is what? What should they do? Should they sit her in a classroom and let her behave that way? What are you envisioning?
My concern here is that her behaviors are beyond what District 51 can
So
handle.
what should they do?
At that point, they should place her in a private school that can manage her behaviors.
So are public schools, because they're public schools, are they obligated, and I'm asking again because I don't know, are they obligated to do whatever it takes to educate a child, including placing them in private education?
If it's a student with a disability, yes, under the Individuals with Disabilities Education
Now,
Act.
we have an advocate for the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, and she's also with the ARC. And what does the ARC do, Suzanne?
That's what I was hoping Connie could tell us
Okay,
about.
good.
The ARC Pike Peaks region.
Okay, so Connie McKenzie with the ARC Pikes Peak region. Before you begin, just quickly, in a sentence or two, what's the ARC?
We provide advocacy for children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
So you go to bat for them?
Right. We're primarily a civil rights organization.
What do you think about this case? Her daughter is expelled from school for her, or she was in the past, and she's threatened now. So what happens?
So, Mom is completely right here that they do have to continue to provide an education, but that 2 hours a week, I mean, it's really tough to get a full education in 2 hours of instruction a week.
Now, I don't know, what was her name? She just hung up. Hold on a second.
Andrea. I was going to call her back.
Okay, she just hung up, but I'm sure she's listening. I don't know why she hung up. So are they required to educate her no matter what her behavior?
To an extent. I mean, there's certain things that can result in expulsion, and there are procedural safeguards in place for a child with a disability. So if they're having behaviors that result in some sort of disciplinary action, and they're considering expulsion, or the child's been suspended for more than 10 days or excluded from their educational environment for more than 10 days, they're required to conduct what's called a manifestation determination meeting. And that's conducted with the IEP team, including the parent.
Yeah.
And it's to determine whether or not the behavior is a manifestation of that child's disability.
Okay.
Or if the school fails to provide,
if it is a manifestation of the disability, then what?
Then the child cannot be expelled unless it's a drugs or weapons charge.
Okay. So let's say her behavior is a result of her disability. And I don't know how they determine that, by the way, but I mean, who's to say that she's not smart enough to play the system? I don't know. Hey, I have, I'm autistic, so I can do what I want. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking. Andrea, how do you know your daughter's not playing the system?
Because we've been dealing with these behaviors for the last 5 years. She's never used it as an I'm autistic, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
It's when she's truly overwhelmed, when she's reached her frustration tolerance and cannot cope.
So back to Connie. So what should Andrea do to assure her daughter's rights? What should she do? Let's just do some action steps.
So she's absolutely right that if the school cannot provide for her, then they need to find the place that will provide for her educational needs.
Okay. That's
so
it.
That can be a private placement. It can be another placement within the school district. There are several different options for that.
She's already in the most restrictive placement in Mesa County. She's at the Therapeutic Day program, which is a separate school for children with disabilities who have severe behaviors.
Okay, so she's already there.
Been there since we moved here 2 years ago.
Okay, so if the school, Connie, throws up its hands and says, we're doing the best we can, what are Andrea's options?
She can seek out a private school placement that can handle the behaviors.
And then what? Bill it to the school?
Okay. Funded by the school district, yes. It would have to be an IEP team placement.
Okay.
If they refuse, then she can file a complaint with the state. And
where does she file that complaint?
Through the Colorado Department of Education.
Okay.
Can I actually file a state complaint to overturn the manifestation determination, or do I have to go through due process? because we've done this before.
Wait, so has it already been determined that her behavior is outside of her disability?
They believe that it is, yes.
So how do you determine that? How, Connie, if you don't agree with that, what do you do if you don't agree with that?
Then there are, you can actually do it would have to be the due process complaint.
God.
And there are attorneys
where I need an attorney to help.
Do you know, you know what?
Their attorney.
Here's what we're going to do. If we're going to get into recommending attorneys for this, Connie, if she can give some recommendations behind the scenes, that would be great, Andrea. All right? Really, all we can do is make those recommendations and see what we can, see what the results are. I'd like you to keep us abreast of this thing. It's pretty interesting. I mean, autism, it used to be I never heard of autism, and now it seems like everyone knows somebody with an autistic child. Do you know someone with an autistic child, Johnny?
Yes, someone who's on that spectrum.
Do you know someone with an autistic child, Jared?
Yes, I definitely do.
Dan, do you know someone? I'm serious. Do you know someone, Dan? Probably. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, see, Greg, you do too. Suzanne, we all, really, there was a time, I don't think we even knew what it was, let alone knew someone. Skylar, what is your comment, Skylar?
Mine is, well, I actually have autism, and I don't necessarily seem like it because I keep it in check like nobody's business. And
what form of autism, Skylar?
I would be classified under Asperger's.
Okay.
And like when I was in high school, I was obviously in special education because of it. And teacher was just god awful. And I was actually the one that children came to when they had problems with, their various forms of autism. And I know exactly what the girl is going through because I've gone through it myself. I know what the mother's gone through because it has broken my dad's heart.
What recommendation? What recommendation would you make, Skylar?
Personally, I'm not really sure if I have a recommendation. I more or less kind of wanted to let this woman know that I know exactly what she's going through.
Okay, here's what I'd like you to do, Skylar. Hang on. I'd like to ask you some very specific questions about living with that form of autism. I really would love to do that. Flexident Colorado for getting your car fixed the preferred way. Why is it preferred? Because it takes less time and it totally erases the damage and you never know it was there ever. So I'm telling you that Flexident is the best way to do it if you don't have paint involved. It's paintless dent repair at its best. FlexidentColorado.com. 303-619-6273. Whether it's hail damage or any other damage or even a mixture of damage, they can do all the paintless dent repair, and then you go to another shop they refer, and that's all under one deductible. That's FlexidentColorado.com. 303-619-6273.
Drew, the crazy guy, has been holding on.
Which one's
Drew? I got nothing to do today.
Which one's Drew, John?
I don't know. It's just somebody who's he called in before the almost
right away at 10:10.
Yeah.
He's still on, huh? He's got the radio on. He's ready to get back on the air.
Time.
Oh yeah. Rear end has more issues. And what time's your lunch, Joe?
Well, there's only one way we'll resurface cabinets. Order in or mail. Replacement kitchens, only custom-built cabinets by our own people for a fabulous look. Bathrooms, you can count on the tried-and-true done-right bathroom renovation system. And windows and
It's done right. I heard y'all talking about them a week ago. Somebody called in. Well, they're much more expensive.
What?
Done right. They must do good work, but
they do good work.
I've heard their rates are kind of high.
They're very expensive. Okay. Some people think it's worth it. Some people don't. I know in the past we've compared their refacing with brand new kitchens cheaper. In some cases, I can't say anything wrong about how they do work or who they are. Nothing at all.
One person that called in, what?
They've been around a long time.
Yeah. They must do well.
my role at CBS4, covering Colorado first, seriously and personally. I'm proud to tell the stories that matter most of all. Tell us what matters to you. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and catch me and Karen Lee, 6 and 10.
Never been this close, Jared?
Never been this close. Oh, it's fun. I gotta get into
And you think our job's stressful?
Yeah. we cover such a. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, you really have to move on. You can't delve into each problem deeply. I do it too much as it is, and we really have to keep it moving and then help. A lot of the help Dan does off the air, Greg does with we work off the air on, and then come back with results, because otherwise it would be a dreadful show. You know, if you had to really just keep talking about it, you'd be on with one problem the whole show.
You'll speak to someone local about different treatment options, all evidence-based treatments designed to help
You get a
reduce
real exciting
substance
call.
abuse. No more excuses. Get the help you need. Some health insurance covers the cost.
You never know what's going to
Never
happen.
knows that.
They email us and they leave messages, so we know what kind of goes, but also let anybody who comes off.
Well, you know, in other places, we talk to them, especially during open enrollment, we'll talk to 20, 30 people a day. I have no idea what we yell at.
It's such an emotional issue.
Yeah, we yell at it. Right. I'm here to help.
Right. All you say is you try to go through that thing.
Is that Rucker?
That's so expensive.
Was Darius Rucker or whatever? Used to be. Is it? Is that Darius Rucker? I think it is. He's country now. He's a country singer. Like he didn't used to be. What was Hootie and the Blowfish?
Oh, that's okay.
But now he's a country.
Okay, that's what I thought I said, but he looks familiar to me. So he was Hootie and the Blowfish. And you know who I haven't heard from in a long time is Dave Matthews Band.
Didn't they just put a new album out not too long ago? I feel like they might have, but I agree. My wife, like she would always go to concerts. I haven't heard about Dave Matthews in a long time. They probably did.
Right. And that being said, they would totally collapse the system if that's all the people.
What about YouTube?
Live.
Still, none of that.
I got tired on there.
Yeah. They don't realize that they're going to have $5,000 a budget.
Oh, no.
But they put on the show.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Holy cow. Some of the Pepsi Center, they had this screen that dropped down. It was like the length of the entire basketball court. Like it was massive. And it was on either side. And on the inside, they could walk through it. And they had all this, so it would blow them up. And like there's stuff going on. Like they were inside of this video. It was crazy. Like the amount of, oh my gosh, it was nuts. Was it? Oh, you too? Like,
I guess a lot better when we were in college. That was just sold out. It was basically a lie. It was sold on a lie.
And what's happening now?
Somebody moved on. It used to be there. The same with Dave Matthews though. Like,
isn't that crazy?
So now when they used to do that, what was that? Dave's Colorado Festival or Denver, I can't remember what it was.
And how did they say that? Oh, it's just to have the government pay for the money.
Okay.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. Skylar, Asperger's, he has Asperger's, which is a form of autism. Skylar, you said you know what this woman is going through as a daughter who's being expelled because of her behavior. Skylar, of all the forms of autism, the people that have Asperger's are the ones that communicate the best, I think, because they're the only ones I've ever talked to about their disorder. So what gave you the first clue there was something wrong, or what is different about you? I mean, you have enough awareness to know there's something different. What is it, Skylar? Skylar? Is he still on? I think he is. I asked him to hold on. There he is. There. Hello, Skylar.
Hello?
Yes. So I was asking, you obviously are aware enough to know you have this disability, or whatever they call it, this condition, autism. And I'm wondering, have you ever analyzed, because people with autism are usually very, very intelligent. You have a form called Asperger's, and as I said, of all the forms of autism, They're the ones that communicate the best that I've seen. So I want to ask you, what is different about you if you had to explain it? What is different?
That's actually kind of a complicated answer.
Yeah, but if you had to explain it to someone who has no idea, what would you say? Why are you different?
Well, in my particular case, I don't have very good social skills. In fact, I called in like last week and I said I was 19. I have not had an actual friend since like, I want to say the 4th grade. And it gives you really bad social anxiety, for example, too.
What is it about friendship that's stressful?
How should I say this? And from my experience, even other people that I know that have the condition, if we're aware enough of what we have, we're actually scared of the judgment that other people are going to have against us. And the reason why is, another thing with autism, is that half the time, like her daughter, she said she kind of goes through the aggressive spouts like that.
Yes.
Which I went through too, is when I was younger. The problem is when the condition takes over and affects us, we are not even aware that it's actually happening. Because I have done really stupid stuff, and I had no idea until somebody told me, and then I felt absolutely terrible afterwards.
And so you haven't had friends, normal friends or close friends. What about family?
Family tends to be a little easier because we're around them more constantly, and for the most part, family tends not to judge you like other people normally would.
Okay. What about learning? Do you find learning pretty easy, pretty hard, or like anyone else?
It really depends. And that's the other thing, is it also, like I said, it does affect social skills. So sometimes comprehension tends to be difficult, particularly for me. I always have to ask for some kind of clarification or anything like that.
Do you think if anyone's hanging out with you, other than your own suspicion, if people are hanging out or you're in a crowd or you're with a group of people, do you think you would stand out as being different? Would someone think there was something odd about you?
Yes.
What would they notice? What would they notice?
Being really reserved, really quiet, kind of spacing yourself away. Even if it's like a group of 3 people, you'll still be the oddball in that really small group.
And it's not because you dislike people?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like people. I wish I could communicate with people better and be around them more. Unfortunately, it just doesn't quite work that way.
No, I understand. Do you like being alone?
So I enjoy the alone time like normal people do.
Yeah. Now, was your condition considered mild as Asperger's goes?
Compared to when I was first diagnosed, I would say it would be, but that's only because that over time,
okay,
I make sure I check myself as often as possible. It's also probably another reason why I'm quiet, because I don't want to say something that's not going to end well.
Do you have a temper? Other than a normal person would have? There are a lot of people have tempers, but do you have an easier lit temper?
Not necessarily easier, but if I do get aggravated, it tends to be a lot hotter than most people will be.
And do you have siblings?
Yeah, but they're all grown, so I didn't necessarily know them the greatest.
Are you in school right now?
No, sir. I couldn't actually finish school, so I got a GED, and so now I just work, actually.
And what kind of work? What kind of work?
I am a delivery driver for Napa Auto Parts.
Okay. So, Skylar, I appreciate you sticking around. Thank you very much for the insight.
Absolutely.
All right, and he says he knows what mom is going through, Andrea, who has a daughter, and the behavior is deemed unacceptable by the school, and they're not buying that it's part of the disability. Okay, very quickly, because we have to take this break. I'm healthy and cannot afford the increased premiums. Are there other coverage solutions available? Either Jared or John, either one. Jared, you got it? And so what's available? I'm healthy, but I can't afford all these big premiums. Can I get something? Can I get something? What?
Yes, of course.
What?
There are non-ACA plans like health sharing.
Now, if you get non-ACA,
yes,
do you get penalized?
With the health sharing, you do not. It is tax exempt. There are other non-ACA plans that you would get penalized.
So then why would you get it if you're going to get penalized? Because with the penalty and the plan, it's still better than...
Yes, it really depends on the premiums that they're paying.
So is it possible you get a non-ACA plan cheap enough that with the penalty you're saving money over a conventional plan?
Yes.
Oh.
So you put together even a catastrophic plan that goes along the lines of hospitalization that most people want. Most people are not going to the doctor every day. They're not going to the doctor, so they need something that will help them in catastrophic. So what we would do is we put them in a catastrophic plan, all right, and they would probably pay the penalty as well.
But it would still be cheaper than a regular plan.
It still will be cheaper.
And I want to talk about health sharing coming up. By the way, Integra Health is available at 303-466-5500 when they're not here.
This report is brought to you by
Studying on the millennials. You keep calling them millennials. Anyway, the study was they spent so much time on social media that a lot of what he was describing is way higher. They just don't know how to communicate.
What we
senior 60?
Yeah, oh gosh, if you're over the age of, I mean, for anybody,
they're very
like I was looking for me, 38-year-old.
Right on Facebook, everything.
Don't like my extent is I go do 9 years health care every year.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you do?
That's all I do. Like that's my
that's
blood
like
work,
your
that's my physical. I just pay $120, 9 years health care.
That's the way to do it. Sure.
What is that? 9 years health care.
9 years health care.
That's what I
do it every year now. I still do it.
I don't have I guess an official primary care physician or whatever. I go to 9 years health care every year and I get my blood work done and I,
that's pretty good free.
No, well, it ends up being about $120 for everything.
For the full program.
For everything, if you do everything.
And they'll do your PSA exams and all the fun stuff. How do they do that? PSA? Yeah, they do your
but you know,
PSA is not a big.
But like an Anthem HMO.
It is the digital.
2018. Well, this was before.
Do what?
It's having a little bit higher, but not much on it.
But yeah, the chemical, the blood works out bad.
It was going to be
But the other one, they
$40-something a month.
pop in the gloves, makes me a
But
little
truly, with a low PSA, you really don't need that. That's overdone.
My entire family were on Medishare.
We had, and I remember the show you were on.
We are root canal family for $2,500. It's called your shared household portion, annual household portion. It's like your deductible, but you can't call it health insurance, right? So we paid like $340 a month, I think, for our entire family.
Glad you know it's in your sizes.
Well, no, there's no pain.
Taxes.
A dentist saw.
Yeah, so we don't the shared responsibility tax gets exempted because it's one of these.
I never connected
health share
my
plans,
ear problems
right?
with that.
Until
this doctor saw it, and then
$2,500 for our
Oh,
family.
For your whole family.
One doctor.
It used to be $5,000, but we dropped it now.
I had to remind my other
So,
doctor
because
about
you
that.
can choose, and we started off at $5,000 because that was fine.
Who's also a medical doctor,
And my wife was pregnant. I think you couldn't. Or we were going to the beginning. I don't think you could start. I don't remember how that worked, but
no,
we had a kid on Medishare and it was fine. Like they don't pay anything.
I gotta say something.
Until you hit your annual household portion.
Sure.
Like you don't get preventive care. That's why I do the 9 years health care every year. You don't get, shots like our kids immunizations. So we go get them done at the clinic. Like we get your immunizations here.
And it really,
but it's very complicated. But it was all because of a bad read years ago.
The amount of money I've saved, like,
So
there's challenges, and that's what
and the other thing too.
A lot of brokers say, okay, I mean, this is insane.
Really concerned about is
we find solutions.
Silver level
whether it's a health share plan or an association plan.
Canceled the cost share.
There are options for people who are healthy. But keep in mind, Medishare won't cover pre-existing conditions for the first 3 years.
More than that.
Alira won't cover pre-existing conditions. They're another health share, but they're much more broad stroke of the brush. I don't have faith in any gown they can worship. I got as you see
Lady's elderly mother is on 4 Oxycontin
Alira
today.
is 2 years.
Doctor said put her on CBD oil to get her off the Oxycontin so she doesn't get addicted to it. Nancy called our show last week. I didn't put her on. She's like, I don't know what increments to give her or whatever. So we reached out to FPOP. He gave us the answers.
Not helping people and people with decent health attitude.
Jack reached out to him because he does CBD oil stuff. Did you know that? We're not plugging F. We're just giving the answer. Are you confused?
No.
Does that surprise you?
Everybody, the more of her problem, because the dose in the oil is reduced.
Client is very sick. All right, I'm going to put you in the AC.
Well, she didn't know where to start, and F actually has some really good information. How about I send you the info and email CC? It's real simple.
We weren't going to get F on.
He had throat surgery. And I had his neck surgery or something.
2018 is perfect for the healthy individuals and the
yeah,
that's really it's going to collapse the system.
Because you only have
primary
people on health insurance, right?
Because a lot of them are so filled up.
It isn't.
My particular doctor, I'm saying,
I just can't. How many ones we've called? I just got an email during the show.
He takes Medicare Advantage.
I can't afford it anymore.
I'm trying to make my decision. No way is Medicare Advantage.
And like I say, we get a physical.
Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney.
I hope you never need him, but if you're accused of a crime, and he handles a lot of DUIs. Now, no one is encouraging drinking and driving ever. Get a designated driver, use public transportation, use Uber, use Lyft. But listen, even if you are guilty and you just want to go in and plead guilty, or even if you know you weren't drinking and you're totally innocent, even if, I call it, you still need someone to go through the system. You can't just do it. You have too many things and deadlines to assure that you get treated fairly. It's very difficult. Joe Lazzara can help you. Call him. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Joseph Lazzara. Look for him on our referral list at referralist.com. Now, Drew, I saw you were holding, and I hope, Drew, you can tell him. I will take him, but I need to. There are some other people that had called in a few days ago and that we've been working on. That's why you're waiting, Drew, but I will get to you. Nancy, what's happening with you?
My mom is on Oxycontin for pain relief. She's 89 years old.
How much is she on?
4 a day.
And how many milligrams of each?
I don't know.
Well, are they 10s? Are they 5s? Are they 25s? You have no idea.
I have no idea, even though I was giving it to her while I was with her.
Where is she?
In Florida.
And how old is she?
89.
89. And what is her health otherwise?
Great.
And what is the Oxycontin for?
She has severe pain at the spine of her back, and her bones are too soft for surgery.
Okay,
So
and
I saw the surgeon,
okay.
and I also saw her pain doctor, and they both said I need to look into CBD oil to get her, that will relieve her pain so she can walk now again and get her off the Oxycontin. And I know nothing about it.
Okay. Well, first of all, the thing about pain pills, which is really weird, is that pain pills literally make you more sensitive to pain in the future. So the more you take, the more sensitive you become to pain. They also do a good job at dulling pain. So there's a balance there. You dull the pain, but you're more sensitive to pain. It literally tweaks your pain receptors. So it's weird because while it's helping you with the pain, it's making pain more intolerable when you don't have them. And then in addition to that, your body builds up a tolerance. So no matter who you are, eventually what you're taking will not work, and you have to gradually increase it. Now, addicts increase it a lot. People like your mom, they increase it mildly. But no matter what, it's going to be increased over time. So that there you have something to worry about. So now you're tweaking, and I'm not talking just for you, but those listening, and that's why I'm going through this. Now, as far as the other thing, the opioid addiction is when your opiate receptors stop making their own stuff because you're feeding them an easy source. And then when you take that source away, the opioid receptors are starving for that, and you become very depressed or very anxious or certain things. Now, here's the problem. CBD oil will not satisfy her opiate receptors. I mean, so it depends on how much she's on, because even if you give her all the CBD oil in the world, and that's cannabis-based oil we're talking about, right? CBD, yes. Right? Yeah, okay. Yes. That, while it may relieve pain, does nothing for opiate cravings. So people think they can substitute, and they can't. Well, they can, but they're still going to feel lousy, and they're going to wonder why. So until you know, first of all, how much your mother is on, you won't know how to taper her off. And CBD oil is a good alternative. But there are other alternatives for opioids that have pain relief that don't have the same quality for building up tolerance. So I can't believe that the pain doctor hasn't recommended other things as well to transition her. So you're calling in mainly about dosing and how much cannabis oil to give her?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that because I'm running out of time on this, but I will. We'll talk about how you dose the cannabis oil and more coming up. If you want...
That is too weird. Also, she's 89. If she's not taking that much, ask Nancy during the break if she can find out. It's really important to know how much opiate she's on. And can she call somebody?
Just about it. Yeah. Have a good lunch.
Catch me and Karen Lee at 6 and 10 on CBS 4.
None of that Oxycontin.
Well, when you're 90, it may not be. If she doesn't take that much, you know what I say? Have fun. Get addicted. I don't give a shit. Get addicted. Who cares? You can go a good 5 or 10 years on that stuff and keep them down to where, who cares? You know, I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand, unless she's running marathons or flying airplanes and she's 90. At some point, I'm just wondering why that's happening, and I really mean that. It's just, why do you care?
Well, I have to run an appointment, so Jared's going to take over from there. Thank you so much.
Fox News Radio. See you in a little bit. Good luck on that. Jared, you want to come around here?
Thank you.
Capitol as they arrive for lunch with Senate Republicans. The protester has been taken away, and the president's fine. There to talk about tax reform.
That has to be an interesting
I really
meeting,
believe we will. If we have to as a country, it's going to bring back, I would say, $4 trillion.
Senator from Tennessee.
Oh, I don't know.
They've been tweeting back and forth.
On Twitter, attacking Tennessee Republican Bob Corker. Senator Corker claims White House staff has asked him to intervene several times.
Well, they just got
Trump was getting ready to do something, in his words,
the budget will pass. Or did get passed. I got passed back.
No evolution in an upward way. I mean, as a matter of fact,
Tom, give you an example, like with health sharing.
It's almost.
We'll sit down and chat.
Senator Corker's not running for re-election next year. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Really? Okay.
Brought to you by TrueCar.
Well, I don't get much paid for right now, so I hardly get anything paid for. In fact, I don't think I get anything paid
except your postal.
Huh?
Except your well care. Your wellness is covered.
What, once a year? And what do you get out of the wellness check?
It probably runs
my blood test. My blood test wasn't covered.
In some cases, they're not coded correctly.
So I mean, I ended up. I have never once with Affordable Care ever had anything paid ever, and I've been paying out the nose, and I've never once had anything paid for ever.
That's because they normally cancel your policy every year.
No, so what?
That's one of the biggest complaints.
What am I paying for? I have never had anything. Everything comes back where I have to pay the wholesale. I have never had a dime paid. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
The only people that actually are benefiting are people who are going through some catastrophic event. And they love it.
I mean, I'm talking about surgery. I had to have surgery. Where did I have? And nothing's covered. Nothing. My hand, that arthritis, nothing's covered. So I don't even know. I mean, I have a deductible, and so I've never had anything covered. And I was even considering the penalty, except I can't afford that 2%. Is it 2% my income?
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, but there's a cap.
What's the cap?
What is the cap?
It's the lowest rated fraud. So remember,
I literally paid
like $2,500 or something.
I literally paid for everything. I mean everything. So I don't know why I have coverage. I swear to God. I don't know if Social Security is any different, but I have never once in any
Medicare.
Yeah,
Medicare's price.
Oh, you're gonna love that.
Compared to what I have now, I don't really have coverage. So if I can get catastrophic, I'll take it. I mean, I have to consider that because I look back, prescriptions are supposedly subsidized. I still pay on one prescription $100. So tell me how it's subsidized.
Confirming entry plus formulary or not. I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
But everything's going towards his deductible because he has an HSA.
Oh, that's right.
But there are solutions.
30 K-How.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So, we have a lot going on. And I want to remind you, first of all, we have a campaign going on, GoFundMe, to help with some legal expenses on adopting a girl, a 7-year-old girl. Dan wants to adopt a 7-year-old girl because the dad is in prison for 27 years, arrested for child pornography and exploitation of children, in prison for 27 years, and the dad is fighting it. He wants visitation and fatherhood and all of that. And this Dan, who's married to the biological mom, wants to adopt her. He's been in her life for almost her whole life. Please go to Facebook to read about this. Our referral list, Facebook, Tom Martino's referral list. Just put in referral list after Facebook.com. Also, you can go to GoFundMe, Fight for Adoption. Please help us. We've had a few generous contributions. We really need to raise some money, and we appreciate any help that you can give us. We also have Integra Insurance with us talking about open enrollment starting November 1st and the choices you have. Health insurance, oh my goodness, health insurance is a big deal. So what do? There are some people actually choosing to pay the penalty because they're healthy and they don't want to pay the outrageous premiums. There are other people that are doing other kinds of plans that are non-affordable. They're not approved by the Affordable Health Care Act, but they need coverage, and they would rather pay the penalty and pay for this coverage than pay more money for a plan under the Affordable Care Act. So, the Affordable Care Act, as I can see, is only good for those people who get Medicaid. They've expanded Medicaid, and those who get big tax credits. Everyone else is screwed. Everyone. And that includes the middle class. I'm not even talking about... So who benefits, Jared? Really, who benefits? Up to what income?
Well, it depends on the family size. So
family of four. Who
family
benefit?
Of four, it's probably around 90 to 100,000. Oh no, about 80 to 90,000.
So if you make up to 80 grand, you are doing all right.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay. You're getting those tax credits, and the thing is you're making above that, maybe $5,000 more. That's where you have to pay the full premium, and that's where it hurts the middle class.
Or if you only have one child.
Or if you have one child.
Okay, so what are these non-affordable health care plans that are cheap? What are they?
Well, they're health sharing plans.
What is health sharing?
Well, health sharing plans is a Christian-based plan where they're healthy, like-minded individuals put a pot of money into like an escrow account, and they all share that money to help pay for their benefits.
Has it been working out?
Very well.
They don't go broke?
No, not one of them.
That's amazing.
Not one of them. But there are strict guidelines and limitations.
What are the guidelines?
Well, guidelines is there are pre-existing conditions do exist.
So if you have a pre-existing condition, you can't cover it.
Yes, and depends on how long you've had that pre-existing condition. So there are rules and ways to get around that as well. So it is underwritten, just like it was before.
So what do you pay a monthly payment and it goes into an account?
Correct.
When you need something paid, what do you do?
Well, it depends on your sharing amount. So there are some health sharing programs where, you know, 2,500, 5,000 sharing amount, where you have to reach that before anything is paid.
Okay, so let's say you have a $5,000 sharing amount.
Mm-hmm.
So anything over $5,000 is shared. How is it shared?
What do you mean by?
Well, what do you mean a sharing amount?
A sharing amount. So that's, in other words, they don't want to say it, but it's your deductible.
Okay, so you reach your $5,000 deductible. What is shared after that? All of it, some of it, 5% of it, 10% of it? What gets paid by the plan?
Depending on the carrier, depending on who we're dealing with, is 100%.
Oh, okay. So you get your deductible paid and everything else is paid by the plan.
Right, and then once again, it's not deductible. It is people sharing in to that. So it's your sharing amount. That's what you owe to the account that you're giving, is that shared amount.
Okay, so in a year, if I reach that $5,000, how do I get paid? Do you send your bills into a company?
Yes. Yes, it's just like as you have health insurance.
And they have a real staff and all of that?
They have a very large staff. So one of the health sharing companies that we deal with have 400,000 members already involved into it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
So that money is sent to whoever needs it that month?
Correct. After you meet your sharing amount, yes.
Is the check sent to you or is it sent to the provider?
It's actually sent to the provider.
So just like insurance?
Just like insurance, but it's not health insurance. All right, so it doesn't follow the guidelines, but it is a program where we put everybody into it. We call it the health sharing program.
Now, obviously, if I reached my deductible or my health sharing amount of $5,000, where I paid $5,000 in, I still pay every month after that.
Correct.
Okay, but if what if I want plastic surgery? Well, obviously, that's elective, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you still have rules and regs.
Correct. And guidelines.
What about prescriptions?
Prescriptions, depending on who you go with, depending on the health share plan. There are health sharing plans that will have discounts for your prescription drugs. Other health sharing plans is everything is paid out of pocket.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So we're also dealing with other issues, so let's go to the phones, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. By the way, do you guys place people with health sharing plans as a broker? Do you guys, if you're a broker, you sell insurance plans, or you help people facilitate their insurance, do you help people get sharing plans?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a couple plans. So what we've done is we've looked at what's happening for 2018. So what we really want to do is give everybody else some kind of outlet and solution to their problems right now.
But each one is individual. And that's why I'm saying you don't pay any more with a broker, and it would be silly to try to do it alone. You go to a broker, you go to Integra Insurance, they look at your situation. That's the whole deal, your situation. Nancy wants to get her elderly mom off of opioids and get her onto cannabis oil. And so you're talking about cannabis oil you ingest, right, in a capsule as opposed to, or in a gel cap or something, as opposed to the topical solution. Is that right?
Well, her pain management doctor said a patch.
Okay, I get you, right. Now, did the pain management...
She's on 10.
She's on 4 10s?
Yeah,
okay.
I called.
She's on 4, so she's on 40 milligrams a day, which is not outrageous. So,
good.
No, it's not at all. So, did the pain management doctor have a plan for tapering her off?
No. She's been to a lot of different doctors.
But you do understand that she can't, if she just stops taking those 4, she may feel that a bit. And it might, I'm not talking about life-threatening or anything, but she could feel pretty lousy.
Okay.
So you can't just cut it down, like say, okay, here's the oil, Mom, and then do nothing. You have to taper her off, and for that you need medical advice on how to do it. There are also other forms of, believe it or not, of medications that satisfy the opiate receptors that are easier to taper off. So really, your pain management doctor should be telling you all of this. I don't think, who knows, how long has she been on for a day?
She's just starting her, she's halfway through her second month.
Oh, that's not going to be bad. Okay. As long as it wasn't years and years. She should have no problem. But ask the doctor, as you're doing the cannabis oil, because they're not going to interfere with each other. She's not going to overdose. Okay? Because it's not going to the same area. So it's not like, and the doctor will tell you that, it's not like she's going to be like, double dosing where she's going to, it won't do that much to her, but you got to taper one while you're doing the other before you, so you'd start one light and then taper the other one, and then eventually the oil will take over if it works. But I just want to tell people something. Cannabis is not a panacea. It doesn't necessarily work the way everyone says it does. Okay? It really doesn't. It does have some pain-fighting qualities, and it's very good. But most of the advocates, I just want to come right out and say it. Most of the advocates for cannabis want to get high. And they and they use the pain thing as an excuse to get high. And if people were just honest about it, that's what the whole medical marijuana thing was about. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Cannabis has wonderful pain-fighting qualities and wonderful qualities for other things. It really can be used for other things. But a lot of people want to buzz. Yes, Suzanne.
Tom, I think the CBD oil doesn't get you high.
It doesn't, right.
That's a good thing, right?
No, that's a good thing, yeah. But I'm saying that her grandmother's mood might be such that it doesn't satisfy her, and it doesn't necessarily kill the pain. So it's something she has to try. But then you also get to a certain age where I wouldn't care if my mom was on opioids. I wouldn't care. As long as she can deal with the constipation, take all the opioids. Well, not all of them, but, take them. Who cares? By the time you build up a tolerance, and who cares if you're addicted? As long as you can get them. I'm really serious. I mean, when you're in your late 90s, who cares? Right now, your mom is probably very healthy and has a reason to taper off because she's just turning 90. So it all depends on individuals. So as far as dosing, okay, what did we find out, Suzanne? What did we find out?
Well, what we found out is that I guess less is more is what our experts said. That if you take too much,
the dose response means taking too large will actually decrease the effectiveness.
Yes.
So you start with 25 milligrams a day, going up to 120 milligrams a day in 2 doses, morning and at night. Increase from 25 milligrams a day until you see results. So and by the way, you can't overdose with this stuff. It's not going to kill you.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you just want as little as possible, Nancy.
Right, but you want to start with 25 milligrams, and if you can split it up day and night, okay?
Is this a pill? Is this...
No, it depends on how is he recommending this?
I'm not sure. I need to get clarification on that. I will, Nancy, for you.
Okay, we'll get clarification. Right. But some people start with 25 morning, 25 at night, and that's 120, okay? Excuse me, not 120, I'm sorry. They start with 25 milligrams a day. I'm sorry, a day, splitting that up. And then they go up to 120, but you increase by 25 milligrams each. So you take 25 milligrams to start, and then you take 50, and then you take 75, then you take 100, then you take 125 or 120, and if you need it. Again, anyone who dispenses this would have good information for you, and we can give you a website to look at that would help you. It's called Receptra Naturals. And their oil, they have a dropper, so I'm not sure if they're talking about ingesting it or rubbing it on. I don't know. I know so little about it. Receptra, Receptra, naturals.com.
Okay.
All right, and start doing your research. But and Roger, you might want to listen to Roger. Roger, what did you want to say? Go ahead, Roger.
Well, Tom?
Roger?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, I want to touch the opportunity about the dilemma, like, for veterans.
Okay, this can't work. His phone. Roger, I'm sorry. I will come back to you, but I can't hear you right now. We have health insurance to talk about, and anything you want. If you can't get through at 303-713-TALK, you can call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. That's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If you want someone to list your home, you will never find anyone who will dedicate more time to you. You'll think you're the only customer. I have never seen anyone work so hard, and people say, wait a minute, I thought this guy has a big agency. He does. But he manages to oversee each and every transaction with his team, whether you're buying or selling. 303-920-1622. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If you have been injured in an automobile accident, speaking of injuries and pain and cannabis oil, I'll tell you what, before you have a problem, you need to call an attorney to find out your rights. John Fuller is that attorney, especially if you're involved and people are at fault or you're not sure. John Fuller. Consult with an attorney to know your rights, even if an insurance company says we're taking full responsibility. John will talk to you at no charge to see if truly they are treating you fairly. He will give you an honest response. And if he takes the case, if he believes there is money there to be gotten for you and where to get it, that's the most important thing. Remember, he only collects if you collect. If you've been injured in a car accident, a truck accident, a pedestrian, on a bicycle, or any other way, John Fuller, Fuller Law. Here is his website, personalinjuryco.com. Personalinjuryco.com. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500.
From the L&L Heating.
No major delays in the drive across the highways in the metro area as the lunch hour gets underway on this Tuesday. I-25 up the speed from Thornton North going through downtown.
Yeah, Tom.
To the Tech Center.
On the health sharing now,
through the heart of the
you
city
get a
as well.
1095
on the turnpike, no problem tonight.
because it's ACA exempt.
Once you get out to
Because
Aurora,
it's state-based.
Avenue, Smooth, and Lakewood. And
The two that Jared was talking about, one of them you have to be a full.
Who? Hold on. Updates on your route. Fun line. Traffic app powered by Traffic Car.
You have to be a full-blown Christian. That's the warning.
Well, how do you prove that or not?
You have a standard belief. If you're an atheist, you're just the line anyway. You could ask
yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying.
so
that is so weird.
I mean, you have to have the standard.
Okay, we're going to have to do a spot in a minute here, just so you know. So that sounds okay. 5 cents.
Visit TrueCar.
Plumbline Services is who I call when I have a problem with plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains.
And this is especially important now because we don't have really cold weather, so you can get in on some tremendous savings on a furnace, more than $2,000 in savings with discounts if you call them. You'll also get free second opinions on all major repairs. That's free second opinions if someone told you you need a furnace or a water heater or a service change in your electrical or whatever you're told, a drain problem. They will tell you if you have a good deal or not, or they will quote it. They will try to beat the deal. Of course they will. They want your business. So take advantage of the free second opinion from good, honest people. They also have a $149 special with electrical problems. They will guarantee, listen to this, to find and fix any electrical problem with parts for $149, or it's free. Now this is what that means. Let's say that, 10% of the time they might find something that is really big they can't fix for $149. If that's the case, you don't pay a dime, so it's not like they're making any money by saying that. They simply give you a written report and a diagnostic on why it's a major problem. So no matter what, you either get that problem fixed that day for $149 with parts, or you get a free written diagnostic of any serious problems. You can't beat that. Call Plumbline Services, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086, plumlineservices.com. My carpets have never, ever smelled or looked cleaner. And it's all done without soaps, harsh chemicals, or detergents. Hello, I'm consumer advocate.
Took her to get her in that kennel. She's pissed.
What's wrong with her?
She's semi-feral. She just.
Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
she's
That's
like.
a wild cat, huh?
What's that?
Is that your cat?
Yeah, we have 3, but one is she just scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat. Get it.
But anyway, they got her in. So.
Wow, she's cute, though.
She's a beautiful cat. She's just a little snow cat.
She's all white, huh?
No, she's not. She's gray. I don't know why they call her.
So in your case, when you look at what you're going to be paying with that 30%, we just did it until you go on Medicare. It will drop you by a good third. 2/3.
What will? Oh, the medic?
Really? Yeah. Sure. You'll be less. You'll probably be less than $250. And it's no magic
on Medicare.
No, on the health share.
Oh. Should I do health share? Am I a candidate for that?
Very much so.
Oh, okay.
I think Stephanie's got church and everything else.
Oh, I was doing that long time
ago. I know that. I was just kidding.
You know I didn't act. No, seriously, that's great.
And the other thing is, there's no magic. All the health sharing has done is stripped away those 10 essential benefits. You're not paying for abortions. You're not paying for mental health. Even though my wife thinks I need it, if we went that way, we wouldn't be paying for any of that stuff. I don't take any prescriptions. I'm not worried about it. But I do know the largest one out there, because I was chatting with the gentleman yesterday, they have over 5 claims right now of over $1 million that they're going to be paying.
At the lowest delivered price.
So they do pay them.
Wow.
Taking some of the statistics, how many billions of dollars we paid out?
They paid over $1 billion out over the last 20 the health share. Over the last 20 years. Do what now? What would happen if we do the largest? This network is private healthcare system. It's the way they used to be. You could get the Mayo or anything else. Okay, they're huge. It's not these little skimpy networks. So the bill, when you go in, you'll run it through PHCS.
Right.
PHCS.
But I can't have an HSA anymore, right?
You can still fund it. The government stuff that part. They only check it and pull money out of it. But then the bill,
pull money out of it.
You have to prove on your tax form that it's a legitimate medical expense.
So what have you done?
Then they could come back and audit. Yeah,
but I mean,
just putting money.
Okay,
putting money in your HSA.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. So, health insurance. Here are the things you need to know. We've gone over a lot of them, but I want to recap. It's really important, okay? Open enrollment. Jared, quickly. November 1st till
January 12th.
The advantages of using a broker.
Well, we're here as a guide.
Comparison and guide.
Comparison and guide.
No extra cost.
No extra cost to use us at all.
Most of the time you're going to save.
And we've done our research.
Right.
We've done our research to help you and find out other ways other than
And the major complaints we're getting. Pricing.
Major complaints, pricing. And a lot of people, they go in and they're not getting any kind of coverage or discounts at all.
Now, what are the advantages of enrolling on the Connect for Colorado versus a plan off the exchange?
Well, Connect for Colorado, if you're eligible, through your income, you're eligible for tax credits.
But you can't get that off the exchange.
You cannot.
Okay, that's very important, people. You only get the credits and stuff if you go on the exchange. Do you guide them through the exchange?
We guide them through the exchange and the application. It's not very easy to go through, so we'll do all the heavy lifting for you.
What is the adjusted gross, modified gross income?
Modified
it's modified adjusted gross income.
Modified adjusted gross income is what they use as their tool to...
And what is it? How do I figure it?
Well, it's hard. Some places it's hard. You want to talk to your CPA as well. But it's your adjusted gross income is first what you look at. Okay. But there are other criteria that you want to look at as well.
That come off of that. It doesn't increase it. It comes off of it.
Well, some other incomes are actually added on.
Okay, so your adjusted gross income is not the only figure then. It's close.
It's close. It's very close. Line 37 on your tax return.
Okay. And a healthy person that can't afford the increases or doesn't want to, they can do health sharing?
Health sharing or associate-based plans.
What is an associate-based plan?
Associate-based plan is where they have a schedule of benefits. And those schedule of benefits are what you need every day. And it's with a $0 deductible.
All right.
But you do have to pay the penalty off of that plan.
Okay. That's Integra Insurance. Now, as I said, they're there to help when they're not here. 303-466-5500. Drew, I'm sorry for the wait, Drew. What is going on, sir?
I was rear-ended by a car.
When?
I think October 27, 2016.
Oh.
And I thank you because my insurance company tripled the premium, and in May, you solved that one. I'm not sure if they're related or not. But
now, what happened? Wait, what happened in May? Drew, what happened in Drew? What happened in May? The October was the accident in 2016. What happened in May of 2017?
They tripled my premium, and your show got involved, and they corrected. That was all state insurance.
Right.
Now my left shoulder was injured from the accident. Everybody's diagnosed that, and it needs an MRI and possibly a surgery.
Is this from the accident?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the problem now?
Optum, Allstate appoints Optum, and you go see their doctor.
Right.
Now, the doctor who examined me, I cannot lift my left arm above my shoulder height every time you do it.
And what did that doctor say?
He said I need an MRI, and however, Optum, that's the company for Allstate, their doctor examined me, but he didn't examine me.
I understand. They're called independent medical examiners, and it's usually a ripoff. But get to the point. What did the doctors for Optum say?
They said, I don't need an MRI or surgery, but he never checked me. He didn't move my
This is a
left arm
problem.
above my shoulder.
This is a problem. This happens all the time. Who do we usually talk to about this? Because if you disagree on this, John Fuller would be good to talk to. John Fuller. And if he's not around now, we should get him back, because really it all comes down to this. He's disagreeing with their determination. So what do? If you have a doctor who says you need an MRI, this thing about independent medical examiners is a joke. They're not independent. I one time did an undercover story for Channel 4 where I went to an independent medical examiner, and I went to him twice, as a private patient and as an insurance patient. As a private patient, he found problems with my back. As an insurance patient, he found nothing wrong with me. Imagine that. Yep, that's how this sucks. And I don't recall at the time. He was an orthopedic doctor. He was Asian, and it was years ago. And I believe, I forget, we dummied up. I went to him under obviously assumed names. It was terrible what they did. We help a lot of people. We've helped Drew 3 times. Or 2 times. Lynn, you have a comment on cannabis oil. Go ahead.
Yes. You're talking about CBD oil, which was originally discovered by the Stanley brothers.
Okay, so I don't.
Found in cannabis.
I don't want the history lesson, but I wanted to know if you can help this woman.
Well, now it is. You can get CBD from hemp oil, which is legal in all 50 states.
Oh, good.
See, cannabis oil is not. And get it only from the Stanley brothers, because they're strictly organic.
Okay, thank you.
Get it from anywhere else?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not as
full of pesticides.
Okay. I'll leave that up to the judgment of the purchaser, because I'm sure that they sold you a bill of goods and you think it's great. And again, I understand that oils do not make you high. But the point I made for those emailing me is that most of the time when people talk about cannabis and marijuana and all of the related products, most of the time it is a sneaky way to try to get high. Not with oil, obviously, because oil doesn't make you high. Lisa, what's going on?
Well, I actually, I love your show, by the way.
Thank you.
I wanted to give you my opinion. I believe that the cannabis and opioids, people have abused them to get high. And people like myself that have been on pain management, I'm never pain-free. I'm pain-tolerable.
Right.
And so a lot of people confuse that with, you're predetermined when you are an opioid user that you are, an addict and the whole 9 yards.
Well,
technically,
though, if you're, hooked or dependent on it, that's what they're saying addiction is. In other words, if you stopped it, you would become physically ill.
yes, the dependency, you acquire an addiction due to the dependency, but it's to be able to tolerate to even be active in society. I mean, I could not, I'm in a fetal position without my medications.
But Lisa, have you tried other things?
Oh yeah, I tried cannabis, and actually I was telling your gal that I was still in pain. I ate a lot, laughed my ass off, excuse my French, but
still in
it
pain.
didn't make the pain go away. I could not function.
How much what opioids are you on?
Actually, I switch every 6 months because the effect changes.
But what are you on? How much?
Now I take slow release twice a day, 20 milligrams twice a day, and then I have the fast release ones. They give me up to 3 a day of those.
And how many? What are they? Are they 5s or 10s or what?
They're 10 milligrams.
And how many do you truthfully? You take 2 20s of the slow release. That's 40.
Yes.
And how much of the fast release do you take?
3.
A day?
Yes, sir.
Of 10s?
Yes.
Okay, so you're at 70.
Yes, and I just lowered my dose. I was taking 40s and 10s, and I just don't like to, and you were right about the effects as they do change.
Now Lisa, I'm not suggesting that you are a hardcore addict or anything, but what I'm saying is this, and this is true no matter what, and it has nothing to do with pain. Pain is going to be there. I understand this, but with opiates, there is only one road, and that is you need to take more, and you get less effect. No matter who you are, it will.
I agree. I'm waiting for spine surgery.
Wait, okay.
I had the insurance thing go on. You were just talking about that with another gentleman, where it took a year for me to get an MRI. It took a neurosurgeon a minute to say, I can't even believe you can actually get around with what's wrong with your spine.
Well, are you going to get your surgery?
Yes, but wait. I mean, I'm waiting here. It's there's a neurosurgeon here that's wonderful.
Okay, there are also, Lisa, there are also alternatives to opioids that will still give you the same amount of pain relief.
I agree. I understand, and it's a matter of doctors and visits and time and just physicality. A lot of it is.
Okay. If you leave your email address, I can tell you some secrets on getting off of your opioids and still having pain relief.
Okay. I'm down.
All right. No, seriously, it won't do you any harm, right? So leave your email address. Thank you. Okay, we got to. I got to take a quick break here because there's so much to talk about. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, speaking of medical things, is nothing short of amazing. Dr. Kent Lawson has proven that the adult palate does not fuse and become rigid. What does that mean? That means you can wear mouthpieces at night and gradually widen your palate to where your teeth will fall into a straighter position, and then to top it off, you use Invisalign braces, and you will have a straight, beautiful smile and an aligned jaw in 2 years. Yeah, not 6, 7, or 8, 2 years. People used to give up on adults. You don't have to, and it doesn't have to take 5 years. 2 years without surgery, mind you. And listen to this. It's a fraction of the cost of all of these veneers. Do you know it takes 50 and 60 grand in veneers to do your whole mouth? Why don't you check into the new orthodontics, Dr. Kent Lawson? You'll be amazed too. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100. And that's the new orthodontics, 690-0100.
This report is brought to you by Farmers
Dr. Ken Lawson truly is my hero. His case studies are. That's the ortho guy? Oh my God. I got to see him because of my jaw being busted in so many places from the accident. He sounds great when you have him on the show. One other thing too, when you're chatting with Jared, we're trying to educate too. You may want to, ask him about the family glitch. This does have a major impact.
What are you talking about?
What it is out there is, let's say someone's on group coverage, and the employee gets his for free, or he gets it for a very low amount.
Yes.
The rest of the family, even though they only might be making $70 or $80 a year for qualified for tax credits, because his is assumed affordable, the rest of the family out there could be paying $1,000 to $1,200 a month. They can't get any tax credits.
We're just doing 2 days to 6 weeks.
Once again, why can't they just because of the family glitch?
Well, you can't get tax credits for his
I got 1 million.
So if he doesn't hold the policy,
the rest of the family now could go somewhere else. That's where maybe we get healthy. Not only on the health sharing, but on the association plan. We just took someone, it wasn't us personally, but in Kaiser up in Fort Collins, family of 4 paying $1,200, they were going up 37%. So they'd be about $1,600 a month. They went on the association plan with every benefit out there for $780. They could still pay the penalty and still be saving in the neighborhood about $700. So there are solutions. But their family glitch is a big one.
the family glitch meaning when the primary holder is the guy who qualifies. He could qualify for credits, but you don't get him as a family if he's not on the plan.
Or even if he qualifies for credits, if he's offered health insurance, he's offered.
So 1 day to go.
It's affordable. You're not eligible. Say you're making, say you're one person, and you're
Even if you get your own plan,
it's good for you.
You're
not eligible.
You're 45,000. You're eligible for APTC. And if you're offered health insurance from your company, you're not eligible for tax credit.
Well, why don't you just get like that?
I think he's doing it's healthy and
I'm saying, when you're offered health insurance by your employer, why don't they cover their whole family? Because
a lot of the employers will charge the employees so much as they pay you
that it's cheaper to go the other way.
Well, yeah, because you think about it. Like, say you're getting covered for yours, and your family costs $1,200.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. For the first time today, we have open lines, but now Paul is on. He wants to talk about a diesel truck. We can also talk about health insurance. And One Clear Choice garage doors, by the way, if you have anything wrong with your garage doors, or you want a new garage door opener, or a whole new garage door, OneClearChoiceDoors.com is simply the best. 303-565-6409. A Clear Choice is OneClearChoiceDoors.com, and you want to park a diesel truck in that garage, right, Paul?
Well, I want to buy a diesel truck to park in that garage, Tom, and I appreciate your show. I've learned a ton from it over the years.
So, Paul, what kind of budget are you looking at?
Yeah, somewhere under $30,000. I'm looking for a used one. Looking for a 3/4 or 1 ton. I want it to tow about 12,000, 15,000 pounds. But I know they made a change with the emissions on diesel trucks. I think it was 07 or 08.
What change are you talking? What change are you talking about? Yeah, there were. I don't think it affects the used car market. Are you afraid of buying something that won't qualify?
No, not at all. I'm afraid of buying something that's going to take a whole bunch of effort to keep it maintained and keep it running well. I think there's even some additives that you have to add to your diesel fuel after 08 or 09. But I'm trying, maybe some of your listeners have got some ideas on great, reliable diesel trucks, used diesel trucks. You know, is there a brand, Ford, Chevy, or Dodge, it's better than the other one? There's different engines. There's Duramax and Power Strokes and Cummins engines. And I've always been a gas guy, and I said, you know, I think I know someone who's got some experience in this.
Right. Now, have you called anyone yet?
You.
Okay, we're going to call, let's call Purifoy Chevrolet. He sells a good share of diesels. What brand are you looking at?
You know, I've always shied away from Dodges for some reason, but the things I've read online about them, they kind of have some positive stuff.
And we can call Colorado Springs Dodge as well and get some information.
That would be great, because I'm looking for something used and something before they did all the emissions stuff to them. I think they put like injectors and emissions plugs in the engines and all sorts of stuff, so they became more of a headache to maintain.
Okay, so what we'll do is get somebody on pretty quickly. So
Thanks, Tom.
just hang on. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And we have Julie, who has a Wells Fargo problem. If you have any problems, questions, or complaints, give me a call. Julie, what's going on?
I heard so much in the press in the last year or so with Wells Fargo and the erroneous accounts they opened and fees they were charging.
Right.
I've just been going through an issue with them on my personal accounts where I said, well, what about these fees that were promised I wouldn't have fees? And now they're saying, well, that's not us. We don't work for Wells Fargo. We work for Wells Fargo Advisors. What's the difference?
Well, I have no idea. I mean, they're obviously their advisors are part of Wells Fargo, or they're referred by them. So that's what they told you. Who are you having a problem with right now?
I'm having a problem with the advisors. I'm trying
what exactly is the problem? Are they the ones investing your money?
They're investing all the money in my retirement account. I had one small group of funds where in a Roth that I should not have any fees for. Then they said, well, you do have a $100 fee. I said, I made 18 cents on this account. You're charging me $100? And
wait a minute. So what are your fees on these accounts, and how much do you have managed totally? They usually go by the total amount managed.
That didn't seem to be the case. I don't believe that's correct.
Do you know how much do you have under management?
That's, I don't really want to go.
Well,
into that.
we don't know your name. We don't know who you are. I mean, no one will. I mean, I have to have an idea. I mean, for example, if you have a lot of money, $100 isn't a lot. I mean, is this $100 a month or for the whole year?
For the year.
Okay, well,
closed out account. This particular.
Can you just tell? I mean, Julie, there's no way we can identify you. Can you tell me how much is under management? I need to have
okay. Total, probably in the 120, 140-ish.
Like between 120 to 140,000.
Yes.
And $100 for a year?
Just for the small account. That's.
Oh, okay. It's not. What are your total fees? You see, Wells Fargo.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
They are broken up into different fund types.
Okay. So that fund where you were charged $100.
That had less than 7,000 in that particular account.
So you had 7,000 about in that account, charged $100 for the year. And yes,
and also keep in mind we made less than a quarter.
But how did you make less than a quarter? Literally less than 20.
It was in a Roth IRA,
right?
And it was also.
But how do you make that little of money with the stock market the way it is? What year?
It was not based on stocks. It was a cash account.
Well, but it's a cash account making. So you don't have it invested in anything? Well,
the entire we were invested, and then that came to maturity, and then after that, a part of it was going to be released in the next 6 months to a year, which was way back sometime. We decided to release it or distribute it, and all of a sudden, he says, in order to do that, you need to pay $100. And I said, no. I said, look at my history. I've been to 3 advisors now. The first 2, I said, we shouldn't be having fees on this account. And he said, well, yes, according to your history, that's correct. But I don't see anything in your notes. Well,
when you say you're not supposed to be having fees, is that what your agreement said, that this account would not have fees?
They waived those fees for me from 2 advisors ago.
On just that account or on all of your holdings?
I believe on that account.
How many different types of accounts do you have?
Well, right now, it all came to maturity. They were all under one, except this little small one.
Okay, they were all under one, and then this small one. How much did you pay on the other ones?
I don't know what the fees were, but there were fees. It just is automatic in my statement.
Okay, but you
and
notice.
I have no problem with that.
No, I understand. I understand that. Yeah. But I'm trying to get some indication of what they're charging for what. That's the only way I could do it, is by knowing. So you had really 2 accounts with them. You had this one, and you had a bigger one, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 2 or maybe 3, yeah.
Okay, and then they charge you $100 on this one. If you do you have a contact number there? We can find out, but you're since you are so confidential and secretive, I don't think we can, because we can't just call them and say, what about that? If you have some agreement where they waive the fee, or a sign-up agreement, whatever you can share with us. I mean, we're kind of batting blind because you don't want to give us information, but you want us to help you with a financial advisor, and I don't know how to do that. So I'm not sure what your question is. It's Julie. I don't know what your question is. Are you asking if $100 is too much on $7,000? Yes, it sounds a little high to me. $100 fee sounds a little high to me.
I guess if you compared that to what was earned.
But they don't do it compared to what's earned, unfortunately. They do it compared to what's under management. So, so let's say $7,000 times, they usually, I don't know, they usually have sometimes 1.5% under management. So you go 1.5%, and then you get the amount of money. So, is that too much money? It depends on what your agreement was. I'm trying to be...
Here's the surprise, too. When I told them that we needed to close that account...
So actually, 1.5% of that would be... That's right around 7,000. I mean, that's right around 100, a little more than $100. So you might be 1.2, 1.3 under management, even if you don't make money.
Yesterday, when we told him we were going to finish distributing that account, he says, "Oh, and by the way, I just found out that you have $125, I believe it was, an additional fee to close the account."
Well, okay. That's a matter of contract, too. I have to see your agreements. Suzanne, off the air, find out how much she'll share with us, because I can't do anything. She didn't even want to tell me how much she had, let alone let us see the agreements. But I have to go by something if we're going to dispute it. But I'd love to talk to APO Financial tomorrow about, here's what I'd love to talk about the advisors, and if they know about them, and see what they have to say. Because they do amount under management. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal, for used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. When you want variety, not just in product, but you want variety in financing, they have 40 lenders to choose from. They also have all kinds of price ranges as well. Give them a call, 303-426-4646, or go to their website, rockysautos.com, or stop by, as I said, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, and that's 63rd and Federal.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center, the Highway Drive.
Great change across the metro area freeway system. Off highway, a couple of crashes.
She could combine counts, and bring that on there, I'm sure.
On scene at both locations. Otherwise, the drive from
$100 is the standard.
back on the freeway system.
We have small items.
East and westbound I-70 up to speed through town. No major.
I know our road was wide at about
metro area, the I-70 corridor wide open up in the high country west of Genesee, and no troubles on 285 between Indian Hills and Granite 30. The forecast.
If she put it in cash, I'm saying she is losing.
Right now, part
Yeah.
of the
And a lot of interest being paid right now.
6:30.
She needs to do anything when it rolled over, or in her bond or whatever finished out.
As the road you travel changes, so do your insurance needs. Talking with a farmer's agent can...
I guess I get that 1.25 whether it goes up.
Farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Art of Granite is the place to call if you want beautiful countertops. Art of Granite. Mitch Fleury has started this company with $300 in his pocket and a dream to have a beautiful fabrication company, and he takes it to heart each and every job. That's why we call it Art of Granite. Of course, he does more than just granite. Any solid surface you want, he can do. He doesn't mark up the stone or surface. You buy it on his wholesale account, no matter where you buy it, or you can get it from him in his showroom. By the way, you give him a call, you tell him what your measurements are, he'll come pretty close at estimating. If you want cabinets, he does those at a small markup direct from the manufacturer. And then when you come into the showroom in Golden after the initial phone call, he'll give you a very specific price that will not change. The whole thing from beginning to end, 1 to 4 weeks, and you have beautiful cabinets and countertops. He serves the entire Front Range and the mountain community 7 days a week. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. artofgranite.net.
With a country this
Where does it stop?
Now, more than ever, it's time to come together and talk about it.
The violence and vitriol that is going on in this country is ridiculous.
Tom, can I ask one other
We
thing?
want equality
Yes,
and
sir.
retribution.
If we start to bring it down to the close, sure, the phone number's great, but if we also can kind of bring up to visit the website, get a quote, because our phones just, I mean, they get overloaded. So if people could, maybe leave their information and get a quote, we'll be happy to get back. So the phone lines get so tied up, especially this time of year right there.
Well, especially with 1,000 brokers leaving.
We're proud to be one of the only tax firms in the
There
country.
was 1,300 last year, now there's only about, what,
300.
Really?
Yes,
In the U.S.?
Colorado, that are certified now to help people through the exchange.
So whether you
And they went out just because
The commission's going to
so much work.
for your free tax consultation.
I'm going to get Tom to set up a GoFundMe page for us. Yeah, it's amazing how many agents have gone out of individual markets.
But the thing is, it's gonna come back. And when it does, we're gonna be standing.
People be planning.
Well, it's 20 million people in the nation.
But right now, I know the last we looked at, it's 150,000 people in the state, Colorado, that would rather pay the penalty than go on the base here. So that's what they've been doing every year.
Sean Hannity,
A lot of them young.
on Denver's Talk Station, 630
Trust me, that's dangerous.
Right.
We get calls all the time. You just have a major accident. What can you do?
Get your own medication. You got to
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. So do we have anybody on about the diesel truck? We can get some quick comments. If not, and then we don't? Did you call Purefoy? Can we try to get somebody on?
I tried twice,
Oh,
Tom. I meant to tell you that on break. I got busy.
Okay, it's hard. We're trying to get somebody last minute. But, Paul, we will address this. If we have to do it tomorrow, we'll do the research. I'll put Deputy Dan on it. What is your main, if you have to sum up your questions on the diesel, you want to know more about the emissions or the carrying capacity?
I want to find a truck, Tom, that's reliable.
Oh, well, you're going to do that. But you're open on make and model right now.
I am, because I've never been a diesel guy before. Always been gas, but I'm open on make and model, but I'm looking for reliability under 30 grand that can tow 12 to 15 grand.
Okay, we're taking notes on that. So you leave a callback number. Dan, you got those notes? We'll call Colorado Springs Dodge, we'll call Purefoy Chevrolet, we'll call Rockies. We will try to come up with something and get you a really great deal, okay? And if you don't like it, of course there's no obligation. It would be really great if you want to challenge us, like if you had a price in a unit and we could try to beat it, but we'll do this. Hey, Mike, you have a health insurance question. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick one. I'm on Medicare.
Yeah.
And I've got AARP supplemental with United Healthcare, and they just raised my prices again every year. And
now, is supplemental necessary nowadays? Is that a necessary thing, John?
Very much so.
This is John Sr. So he says they're raising rates on supplementals too?
It's one thing you've always said, Tom, and I don't care what kind of insurance, there's no loyalty or longevity.
No, but if you get a new policy, can you get those new rates?
As long as you can be medically underwritten. Because with a supplement, once you pass your open enrollment period, which is 6 months past your birth date, these different supplement carriers can underwrite, and they can go back up to 2 years. But if he's in perfectly good health, technically with
well, can they use pre-existing
Very
conditions?
much so.
Oh, they can?
Very much so.
So it's not the same as the Affordable Care Act?
That's correct.
So what are the kinds of plans you can do without supplements? Isn't there...
There's Medicare Advantage.
What is that?
And what's happening right now, all these commercials you're seeing, there's open enrollment.
Right.
They're referring to Medicare Advantage.
Right. What is that?
So Medicare Advantage is basically people with Medicare... It's the insurance companies. Right. They've taken Medicare A and B and they forfeited that over to an insurance company.
So basically,
Medicare Part
the
C.
money that you have coming as a senior goes to an insurance company.
That's correct.
And they give you all your coverage.
They write a plan.
You don't need to have a supplemental then.
What you're giving up with Medicare Advantage because I had to make a decision when I turned 65.
That's what I'm asking. Is it better to have Medicare with a supplement or Medicare Advantage?
In my opinion, yes, because in Medicare Advantage, you have limited networks. You got to see their doctors, their hospitals. You also have a formulary or non-formulary drug list that's built in the program.
So you are saying you do not prefer the Advantage?
Not personally, no.
Okay.
I want choice.
Okay. And so you get Medicare with a supplement. But his supplement, how much is it now, Mike?
$359 a month.
That's a lot of money. That's like an entire policy.
And how old are you, Mike?
I'm 71 and my wife's 69.
And that's for both of y'all or just for yourself?
For both of us.
How's your health?
I got high blood pressure, but I'm okay other than that.
And if I may say one other thing too, Tom,
Sure.
There's something out there called the macro bill.
What's that?
It's the Medicare Access CHIPS, which is Children's Hospital Insurance Plan Recovery Act, or Reinstatement Act.
Well, let's just talk about that.
Okay, what the macro bill does, technically what's going to happen is all Plan Fs, and are you on Plan F, sir?
I don't know.
We're going to run out of time, John, if we can't make it more.
But what I'd recommend is you could give us a call. And yes, if you're healthy, we probably can get those premiums down.
Okay, but what I'm asking is this a problem with supplements that they keep going up every year?
Yes,
okay.
Because we're in a attained age-rated state, so they can go up just based on our age every single year.
Okay, so you have to keep shopping them, and you can switch them year after year.
As long as you can switch them anytime you want. They're not part of the open enrollment.
As long as
you're healthy.
Right, because if you're not healthy, they can count pre-existing conditions against you.
They can turn you down.
Okay, and Integra Insurance, that's INTEGRA, IntegraInsurance.com. You can actually put your information there. They will get back to you and with quotes and everything. So go there too, as well as calling 303-466-5500. Save all your problems for me.
If you're buying baseball tickets from a reseller, it helps to see what others paid for seats in the same section. When it comes to a big purchase like a car...
Well, if you don't have a supplement, what do you get if you don't have a supplement?
You could get hundreds of thousands of bills out of pocket.
Right. So Medicare is basically...
Medicare now is going to be your primary health care, just like it is mine. My bills go to Medicare.
Right.
They reassign everything.
Right.
Then what Medicare does is seamlessly coordinate with the supplement I have. The point I was trying to get with him is that macro bill. By 2020, all the F plans have to be eliminated. Anything with a zero deductible, Plan F. You've asked me before, what's the Cadillac? Plan F. So all the Plan Fs have to go